free. MyPatriotSupply.com is American-owned by patriots like you, passionate about freedom and preparedness. Call now, 866-229-0927. That's 866-229-0927. Or discover more emergency preparedness items when you order at MyPatriotSupply.com. Choose the original. Choose the Survival Seed Vault at MyPatriotSupply.com.
Thank you for listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today. Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. Thank you so much for joining us on this 29th day of May 2013. We're going to be live here for the next 3 hours. I am your host, Alex Jones. And there is quite a bit of news and information that we're going to be breaking down and covering in great detail today. We're going to be looking at the collectivization of our constitutional republic, but also how this process is going on worldwide. There are now right at 11 million people, or 10,978,000 on disability here in the United States alone. And continuing, we are going to look at the expanding crisis in the Obama administration as the public awakens from its long sleep and realizes that we're under oppressive tyranny. When you have the IRS going after gun owners, when you have the IRS persecuting pro-Second Amendment foundations, the import-export group persecuting Gibson guitars, the IRS persecuting Christian groups, pro-life groups, the list goes on and on. You are in a tyranny. And the people involved should all go to jail. The greatest danger historically is an oppressive government. So the question here is, will there just be a bunch of outrage that goes nowhere? Or is there an avenue to bring criminals in the federal occupied? It is occupied by foreign corporations publicly. Will we bring them to justice, or will this just now be a new precedent where what we've known for a long time is just admitted publicly, but nobody gets in trouble? It's kind of like warrantless wiretapping. 6 years ago, they would have congressional hearings and presidential denials, and then when it came out it indeed was going on, it just got swept under the rug, kind of like torture. So the question is, how long will all of this go on? How long will we continue to just let the status quo continue as this republic rots? Of course, it's now coming out that IRS higher-ups indeed were directing the persecution. This was a coordinated, across-the-board program. These are aggressive authoritarians who pose as, quote, liberals. We also have some other reports that I'm going to get to dealing with the situation in the Middle East, where Obama is asking the Pentagon for a Syria no-fly zone plan. And you also, of course, yesterday have Israel threatening Russia to not deliver anti-aircraft weapon systems that are defensive to Syria and threatening to bomb those shipments. I mean, this is the way big wars start. You already had back on 8/88 in 2008, the day the Olympics started, in China, Georgia, with NATO attacking Russian-held South Ossetia and Abkhazia as a test program. to basically see what the Russians would do. Well, the Russians counter-struck and rolled mobile, medium-range nuclear missiles into the area. And again, I don't live in Russia. I don't like their tyrannical government. But I don't like the globalists that have occupied me either. And it's the globalists that are coming down on us, trying to start all these wars. And I understand Israel has old scores to settle and wants part of Syria, wants to expand its living space. But this is an immoral thing happening, funding Al-Qaeda to attack Syria and then now saying they're going to start an air bombardment.
There's been a disaster, and most of you don't even realize the serious concern for all of us. Alex Jones has warned you for years to get the most important supply you can for your liberty, freedom, and security, and that's food. We thought the danger was drought, or food diverted to our gas tanks, or food so expensive that we'd all need financial assistance to afford it, or our food being sold to other countries. But here's the most effective way you'll lose your liberty and security without a fight: government regulation. The do-it-yourself public services of many LDS Mormon food storage canneries can no longer be provided. This, along with the recent private gardening and farming regulations and additional government control of food supplies and resources, says food is the ultimate priority. eFoods Direct will provide free shipping on all food orders until further notice. Call 800-409-5633 or on the web efoodsdirect.com/Alex.
Cal-Ben Soap Company can save you thousands of dollars and give you good old-fashioned real soap that is triple concentrated and made from the highest quality vegetable and coconut oils. See them on the web, www.5starsoap.com, or call 1-800-340-7091 for a free catalog and buy American-made products. Order the sampler, a 1 to 2 month supply, or get a 1 to 2 year supply of soaps for all your cleaning needs. You're getting soap products twice as good as what you're using now. This is an amazing deal, and you will love the way real soap makes your skin feel. Call 1-800-340-7091 or visit www.5starsoap.com. Alex and his staff have used these earth-friendly, pure soaps for years. See them on the web, www.5starsoap.com, or call 1-800-340-7091 for a catalog.
With health threats on the rise, such as West Nile virus, MRSA, CRE, and now the new bird flu recently discovered in China, there has never been a more crucial time to support your immune system. Supernatural Silver is a revolutionary new silver solution that is clinically shown to be several hundred times more effective than colloidal or ionic silver, and is powerful enough to help protect you and your family. Supernatural Silver is scientifically supported, highly effective, and perfect for everyday use inside the body as well as out. The Science Digest Journal says silver is our mightiest germ fighter. It is virtually non-toxic and is emerging as a wonder of modern medicine. Supernatural Silver is the #1 choice of thousands for improved health and immune system support. To find out how Supernatural Silver can change your life, go to supernaturalsilver.com and use the promo code SPRING2013 for 20% off, and like us on Facebook.
We are on the march. The empire is on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Thank you for joining us today, my friends. I am your host, Alex Jones, and I'm going to attempt yet again today to cover a massive amount of news and information and take your phone calls. And we do have Mark Dice, media analyst, joining us at the bottom of the next hour. And then Adam Kokesh, who, of course, was disappeared for a week into a federal prison for speaking at a marijuana legalization rally and charged with assaulting police. But because, or federal gods, but because there were so many video angles that he never resisted, they dropped those charges. And he refused to process any of it, called their bluff, they backed off. because of a free press, a alternative press. Now, I've got articles here where Democrats, they announced this last week, and then I heard it again on local radio this morning, and I forgot to tell the crew, will you guys print me an article? Democrats propose licenses for press. And they're also calling for this in England, where you have to be government licensed to be in the press. And see, Google a few years ago delisted Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com with no reason from Google News. You see, they decide, just like Facebook censored thousands of people's Facebooks that posted video and their own photos about the march against Monsanto Sunday. They did not want the public to see that information. The march against Monsanto, they had several over the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. We've got a report coming up on that. This is how they're controlling us, and we should get outraged by the IRS persecuting media and Gibson guitars and libertarians and veterans groups and Jewish groups. It's basically anybody that isn't a total globalist communist. We should take that personal. We should be upset by it, that they were persecuting pro-life groups and telling them, well, half the time you've got to be pro-abortion. Some weird fairness doctrine they say trumps the First Amendment. We should take it very, 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 very personal that they shipped guns into Mexico to blame and demonize gun owners and scapegoat and false flag the Second Amendment. We should be on top of all of this. And we should take it personally, because when someone tries to rob our First Amendment or our Second Amendment, they are attempting to enslave us. It's so elementary, but we have to take it personal and get upset about it. We have to take it personal when John McCain, on Veterans Day, on Memorial Day, flies to Turkey, who is running with NATO and our government a criminal, offensive, preemptive war against Syria, who's done nothing to anybody, in an attempt to put Al-Qaeda, real Al-Qaeda, in charge. Real Al-Qaeda in charge. And then McCain poses with all these people and calls them heroes, and now Obama says, Pentagon, I want a no-fly zone plan, which means bombing the country. He'll get probably a peace prize for that in this Orwellian world. And then if they try to launch any helicopters or other aircraft to fight the Al-Qaeda forces, they'll be shot down, and then airfields will be bombed, and that will be hailed as a peace move. As another country like Libya is given to Al-Qaeda, as the old Western dictator, Hosni Mubarak, is removed 3 years ago ahead of the Libya invasion because he objected to putting Al-Qaeda in control of Libya and said, I will have no part of that. And they said, you're out of power then, buddy. We're going to put the Muslim Brotherhood in. This is the type of stuff that is so incredibly outrageous. Yeah, here's the WorldNet Daily article. And I heard him reporting this on Fox Radio this morning at about 8 a.m. Dems want new controls on journalists. And this is a WorldNet Daily article that just came out. The Democrats in Congress looking to create brand new government controls on journalists in America. And then it goes through breaking down Senator Dick Durbin appearing on Fox Sunday, said it was too early to call for a special counsel to investigate the recent monitoring of journalists. The Associated Press and Fox News by President Obama's Justice Department. Durbin said he supported the media shield law, but wasn't sure if such a measure would protect bloggers or someone who is tweeting. And he goes on to basically say, real journalists will have to be certified by the government. That's just some of what we're going to be getting into. And England's openly saying, we want to certify you in the UK to say you're a trusted little toady, and then you can be a member of the press. Look, a member of the press is anybody that wants to go to a city council meeting or wants to go to a land rights meeting or wants to go to a school board meeting Or let's say you're a journalist who wants to report on gardening. So you go to the gardening expo, you've got a blog, you take photos, you post them. If it's interesting, you'll get a following. Pretty soon you'll have sponsorship. And see, the system doesn't want to compete with that. So the moves are regulate, tax, get rid of press protections that the press has always had in this country, get rid of it for the general public and say, well, your blog isn't protected for sources because we say Infowars.com, isn't a press outlet, so we're going to try to subpoena who your sources are. And then I told the Texas Rangers, I'm going to fight you in court. And they backed off and basically said, well, we already have it anyways. And of course they do. It's all already spied on. They just want to subpoena it so they can use it in court. I mean, this country is light years down the rat hole of surveillance and tyranny. And I know you as listeners understand and know that. But the general public is just now going, you mean the IRS does persecute people? You mean the press is being spied on and persecuted? You mean whistleblowers are being persecuted? You mean the White House got caught lying? And again, Obama is the worst thing this country's ever seen, but it's only because the country's rotting. The next president, unless it was somebody like Rand Paul, you better believe is going to be worse, because criminals in government have gotten away with more and more and more and more. And as society begins to degenerate, criminals get bolder because they're wanting to snatch enough money and enough resources to live out the rest of their lives once the prosperity's gone. Because they know corruption kills prosperity, so they're all trying to grab as much as they can get right now. And this is the historical paradigm that repeats itself time and time again throughout history. And so here's what I'm going to do. We don't have a guest until the middle of the next hour, and I never get to your calls in the first hour like I say I'm going to do. We're going to get into the IRS scandal. We're going to get into the latest military buildup in the Middle East that is the greatest threat of serious chain reaction war I have ever seen in my 18 years being on air, and historically looking at it. We haven't seen stuff like this since the Cuban Missile Crisis, 1961. The situation with Israel threatening Russia. And again, I don't have a dog in this hunt, folks. I don't live in Israel. I don't live in Russia. I don't... people always make it personal, like, well, you better be for Israel threatening to attack Russian arms shipments into Syria that are defensive weapons. I mean, the Israelis should be against starting a war with Russia. And Russia understands that's its only seaport. That's been their ally for 60-something years. Russia understands that it's being encircled by Al-Qaeda jihadis, that NATO, the Ford Foundation, the U.S. government have been injecting into 11 different countries: Dagestan, Chechnya, Georgia, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan. The list goes on and on. And Russia is very open with this, saying, hey, you're putting radical jihadis in. We don't want you to put Al-Qaeda in charge of Syria. We don't like you putting all these jihadis into all these other countries. We're going to give them surface-to-air missiles that are defensive to shoot down your aircraft that are flying in, bombing them. And do not touch our ships that are bringing those missiles in. The Russians have moved battleships and missile cruisers into the Mediterranean. They're massing ships right now. And hopefully cooler heads will prevail, but the West is attacking for 2 years Syria. They're encircling Russia. They're funding terrorists. And, you know, George Washington said, and common sense says, and morality says, you don't start fights with people that aren't attacking you. Mama said, Daddy said, don't go up and punch somebody in the nose for no reason. That's what bullies do. But if somebody punches you, you let them have it till they're on the ground. And this is immoral. Torture is immoral. Secret arrest is immoral. And everybody always said, well, it's for the Muslims. Folks, the globalists run the radical Muslims. All of this is being beta tested, and the precedent's being set to be used on the American people. So whatever you want to talk about, open lines for first-time callers, 800-259-9231, 800-259-9231. What do military folks think about backing Al-Qaeda in Libya and Syria? Well, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. No, it's not. We'll be right back.
Time and time again.
You need to come here and help us. We need assistance, please.
Those we should be able to depend on let us down.
Federal and state and local officials saying help is on the way. Well, the folks here in Bell Harbor say, show me.
Don't depend on the government to save you. Take action now so that you're prepared for the next disaster with MyPatriotSupply.com. Get the best prices on storable food, non-GMO seeds, water filtration devices, home canning equipment, survival and self-reliance books, and more at MyPatriotSupply.com. Call 866-229-0927.
We are hurting down here and we need help immediately.
Before it's time to survive, it's time to prepare. MyPatriotSupply.com. MyPatriotSupply.com.
Wouldn't it be nice to have one product that replaces more than 10, saving you space, time, and money? HempUSA.org has a complete full-spectrum vitamin mineral detox formulation called Micro Plant Powder Gold. Micro Plant Powder Gold contains 101 vitamins, minerals, probiotics, and iodine. Has a 100-year shelf life and is a perfect addition to any storage shelter. Make Micro Plant Powder Gold your choice. Call 888-910-4367 or visit HempUSA.org today.
We the people grow cotton, weave fabric, engrave ink, embed strips and fibers to protect from counterfeit, then carting to a private bank, having it lent back at interest, forcing taxes to service debt. This capitalism, or was Jefferson correct when stating a central bank issuing the public currency is a greater menace to the liberties of the people than a standing army? Hi, Ted Anderson. I'm placing a silver dollar in a book explains our monetary system. Call for your copy, 800-686-2237. It's time to understand the system. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
There's been a disaster, and most of you don't even realize the serious concern for all of us. Alex Jones has warned you for years to get the most important supply you can for your liberty, freedom, and security, and that's food. We thought the danger was drought, or food diverted to our gas tanks, or food so expensive that we'd all need financial assistance to afford it, or our food being sold to other countries. But here's the most effective way you'll lose your liberty and security without a fight: government regulation. The do-it-yourself public services of many LDS Mormon food storage canneries can no longer be provided. This, along with the recent private gardening and farming regulations and additional government control of food supplies and resources, says food is the ultimate priority. eFoods Direct will provide free shipping on all food orders until further notice. Call 800-409-5633 or on the web efoodsdirect.com/Alex.
Hello, this is Ty Bollinger, author of the best-selling book, Cancer, Step Outside the Box. I want you to know some very important information. In 1985, President Ronald Reagan requested that Carnivora be sent directly to the White House at a time when only the president could obtain this world-class healer. Now, 27 years later, Carnivora capsules are used around the world to keep people healthy. Now you can protect yourself and your loved ones in this age of superbugs with 17 naturally occurring compounds that instinctively respond to abnormal cells only without harming a single normal cell. If you want to stay healthy, now's your chance to literally wake up your critical immune cells to attack harmful invaders that don't belong in your body. Call 1-866-VENUS-FLY or order from carnivora.com. That's carnivora.com. That's 1-866-836-8735, 1-866-VENUS-FLY, or visit carnivora.com. Protect your immune system. It's the only one you've got.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back live, and we're taking your phone calls here today. Let's go ahead and go to phone calls right now. Andy in Georgia, you're on the air. Welcome.
Hi, Alex.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, I just want to thank you for having me on the show. I've been a long-time listener. You've been talking about some stuff recently that I definitely feel passionately about, like topics relating to what's coming on today about making people disappear and things like that, and exactly how states might be able to start doing that. Well, I don't think many people know about this, but Georgia, on July 1st, is to become the first state in the country that will no longer have a public
36-8735, 1866 Venus Fly, or visit carnivora.com.
All right, nice prank call there. Let's go ahead and take another call here from Mohawk in Pennsylvania. Mohawk, you're on the air.
Hey, Alex, how you doing today?
Good.
I got a little comment about a story you ran on InfoWars.
Yes, sir.
About the military being present at a gun rally in Philly.
Yes.
It wasn't the military. It was a squad from the Pennsylvania Watchmen, part of the Watchmen of America.
Yeah, I don't know the story you're talking about, sir, so I'll have to... we're opening the phones up right now. Appreciate your call. I don't understand. I think we got some prank callers calling in today. We don't screen the calls. That makes it fun, makes it interesting. Let's talk to Michael in New York. You're on the air. Go ahead. Michelle, go ahead.
Hey, Alex. I just want to call you and thank you. About 2.5 months ago, I called in and talked to you, and listening to your show really inspired me. I've worked human services all my life. I'm a 40-year-old woman. And, I started to get involved with Blog Talk Radio, and over the last 7 weeks, I have 2 shows on a station on Blog Talk Radio, and, I'm helping spread the word with you. I mean, it's a time that we take a stand. President Obama has made his speeches about stop listening to alternative media, and now he wants to restrict it, and it's time that we take a stand. If we don't stand now, we're going to have nothing to stand for as time goes on. And, so I'm on Freedomizer Radio, and I've learned so much, and I learned so much from listening to you. And, I'm just very grateful for everything that you do.
You don't need to thank me, ma'am. It's about the info. America is starting to wake up. The rest of the world is waking up because the tyranny has gotten so bad. And the tyrants knew we'd wake up, so they built up this giant infrastructure to oppress us when we woke up. But that never works in history. In the end, they fall. The question is, do we have to go through this living hell first?
Well, we are going through this living hell, but you know what? These trolls mean that you're doing the right thing, too. That's the other thing. So they're frustrating, but when people want to lash out at you, you're getting the message out there, and you're doing a phenomenal job. So,
well, ma'am, I'm just trying to survive, and I appreciate your call. What's happening and what's going on is that people have lost confidence in the system, and people now are realizing that there are special interests that are controlling their life through government and through regulations, who themselves are then exempt from the rules that they've put in place for everybody else. And that is the essence of discrimination, the essence of tyranny. We're going to be taking first-time calls, like I said, moving quickly through the calls on the IRS scandals. Do you think it's going to bring Obama down? Are the Republicans afraid to go there because they know Obama has got a lot of dirt on them? What do you think is going to happen on that front? What do you think about our government funding Al-Qaeda and the fact that that's now mainstream news? I listen to talk radio. I read the newspaper. It's being discussed. Should we be funding Al-Qaeda? It is Al-Qaeda, actual real Al-Qaeda in places like Libya and Syria, and using them to attack southern areas of Russia and some of the satellites that are still attached to Russia. 800-259-9231, 800-259-9231, and first-time callers today. Also, Henry Kissinger has been confronted while receiving the Freedom Award by the great Luke Rudkowski. We're going to be playing the audio and video of that. We also have Henry Kissinger saying China and the U.S. have a common challenge to build a new world order. There's video and audio of that. We're going to be getting to a ton of other news as well straight ahead today. I'm Alex Jones. This is the GCN Radio Network.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
A little over a year ago, I began to do a lot of research into why, even though I had a pretty good-sized meal, that I was still starving. And my research led me to a well-known fact that most of the soils that we grow our crops on here in the United States and across the industrialized world are almost completely depleted of almost all of the key minerals and trace elements that our bodies need to rebuild themselves, fight off cancer, and be healthy. I then searched out the best vitamin and mineral company out there and discovered Youngevity. The Youngevity products are designed to give you the real nutrition you need, and once you've got that, you don't have to eat as much to be satisfied. I've lost 37 pounds in 2 months, simply getting the vitamins and minerals I need. Check it out for yourself. It's incredible. Go to InfoWarsTeam.com today and order your first canister of Beyond Tangy Tangerine Complete Multivitamin Mineral Complex Dietary Supplement. That's InfoWarsTeam.com. Introducing Pro One. All of your filtration in one system, portable, on the go. No more do you have 2 or 3 filters to just reduce sodium fluoride. You have a system that cuts out the sodium fluoride and up to 95% of hydrofluorosilicic acid. Advanced manufacturing technology combines silver-impregnated white ceramic with new Aquamedics advanced media for removal of fluoride and other heavy metals, all in one filter element. It is the only one that does it, and out of the gate, we have it discounted at 10% off with promo code WATER. This is the only system that in one unit helps reduce or remove pesticides, herbicides, chloramines, ammonia, and chlorine, hydrofluorosilicic acid, the most common form of fluoride not covered by other fluoride filter brands, and sodium hexafluorosilicate. Get your Pro Pure with the new Pro One filter today at InfoWarsStore.com or by calling 888-253-3139. Alex Jones here with a message to fellow freedom lovers. The prognosis for the entire planetary economic system runs from bad to worse. The globalist model is to shut down societies and starve patriots out until they acquiesce to the global takeover. That's why we've assembled the most vital and important preparedness items at InfoWarsShop.com. These are items that I did research on, that I personally use. We've got the Life Straw, so you can turn fetid water into safe water anywhere you go. The K-Tor hand crank generator to charge up key equipment during power outages or out in the field. Strategic Relocation, 3rd edition by Joel Skousen. When Disaster Strikes by Matthew Stein. ThyroSafe, used by Homeland Security to protect yourself during any radiological event. Hand crank shortwave AM/FM radios. Everything that we've researched and found to be the best is available at InfoWarsShop.com, and your purchase makes our InfoWar possible. We're getting prepared. Are you? InfoWarsShop.com.
There's a need for a new world order, but it has different characteristics in different parts of the world.
Live from Austin, Texas, broadcasting worldwide, it's Alex Jones.
All right, folks, I've got open phones right now at 800-25-99-231 on any issue or item you'd like to talk about. Again, we don't screen your calls, which makes it interesting. Sometimes people call in kind of like they're having their own private discussion or they're plugging something, and a little rule, talk radio is plugging really is fine, but you might want to tell a story about it so that it's interesting in a context to something. In the world, our government, our criminal government, is spying on people, intimidating people. Basically, you name it, they're doing it right now. And we either get upset about this and take action and use this corruption and this awakening to reverse the pendulum, or, which happens a lot in history, it just all gets accepted, and then we know we live in a third world country with a bunch of paramilitary crazies ruling over us. There's an amazing video compilation, an article by Steve Watson up on Infowars.com. Nix Obama, powerful video compares scandal responses, because I've been seeing that myself, how he looks and acts just like Richard Nixon, and the rest of his administration does, and the parallels are incredible. Also, Kissinger, U.S. and China to collaborate on globalist world order. That is some of the news that we're going to be breaking down on that front. And I'm going to play Kissinger being confronted. I also talked to the head police officer over 3 different jurisdictions that are going to be in and around Bilderberg. Ended up talking to him today, and I was a little bit cynical when the guy said he was a listener, but talking to him, he sounded pretty genuine and you know, was describing stuff he'd listened to on the show, and said that he wanted to make sure that free speech was honored and the free press and demonstrators, and that they have moved to make sure that Bilderberg has to pay for the cost of policing, and that they are wary of provocateurs, and that he was aware that Bilderberg reportedly had a history of staging things themselves to demonize people. So that's in Watford, just northwest of London. That's an interesting article up on Infowars.com. Kindergartner forced to apologize for brandishing tiny Lego gun. You have all these violence in movies, TVs, shows, sell all these toys, Nerf guns, you name it. And then when kids play with them, the police get called. Or when your kid takes a Lego toy to school, they get kicked out of school or get suspended or have to apologize. You know, it's kind of like how there's bars everywhere and alcohol sold everywhere, but now the feds want to lower the alcohol level to 0.5. So if you even drink 1 beer and then go get in your car, you're going to be arrested. It's all just a way to get us into the system. And again, awakening to this, realizing this is going on, is the way to turn things around. Ben, Chris, Robert, Rob, Daniel, and many others, we're going to go to your calls right now. Have your point, have your question ready. And then when we start the next hour, I'll get into the Kissinger confrontation. Google is launching blimps to beam their signals and spy beams over you, whether you like it or not, and to fly around scooping up all your other wireless transmissions. I mean, the Google is the NSA, but it's the global on New World Order, Skynet, don't be evil garbage. You know, I wonder if I was in the ocean, if somebody had like stuck a big decal on top of Great White's head that said, don't be evil, or maybe a couple little pink flowers. Then people would jump in with the Great White and like, oh, you're my friend, because it said, don't be evil. You just put don't be evil on the side of a shark. It would like make it safe and nice. It's all just camouflage. Let's go ahead and talk to Ben in Missouri. You're on the air. Welcome, Ben.
Hey, Alex. It's great to talk to you. I'm a huge fan. I've been a listener since last year. I actually saw somebody with a Ron Paul bumper sticker, and right next to it, they had an InfoWars sticker. So I ended up going to the site, and I've been a fellow extremist for, ever since. So what I wanted to talk about today was the police state here in St. Louis. Now, a couple weeks back, I was at my home and, just playing some guitar in the garage, hanging out, nothing really that offensive, nothing that loud. Okay, so cop comes, your neighbors called us, you're being too loud, what's your name? Okay, gave him my name. Well, let me see your ID. So, I'm at my own place. I got a fenced-in yard. I don't carry my wallet around with me while I'm at home. So, all right, well, what's your Social Security number? He says to me. So I'm like, well, why do I need to give you my Social Security number? Can't you just look up my information from your file here using my name and address? So finally, he starts to get pretty upset with me because I won't, bow down and kiss his badge and kiss his ring. And just goes, give me your hands. So I back up and I'm like, whoa, what's going on? What are you doing? And, I think that eventually the story ends up I ended up spending 24 hours in jail, in St. Louis City Jail, around a bunch of gang members who were snorting heroin. But I tell you what, Alex, by the end of my little vacation for a noise complaint, which I couldn't post bail for because it was $0, and I'm fighting it right now, but at the end of the whole thing, you'll be glad to know that I had basically converted and been preaching unity to these guys, and by the end of it, they were really upset to see me go. But the whole point of the whole story is, Alex, that, I think police who are trained now are trained much differently than they were before. I think they're trained to cover their steps, to make sure that, their fellow officers don't get in trouble, and to err on the side of, violating people's rights and then covering their steps instead of erring on the side of, oh, well, I can't enforce this ordinance because it, is really subjectively written, et cetera, et cetera. And I think these are the small things, the small battles that people are fighting on a day-to-day basis that are really, it's kind of a microcosm of the bigger overall picture. And even for me to just, fight this and go to court and say, no, I'm not guilty of this, I didn't do anything wrong, is just one small thing that I or anybody else could do to just stand up and say, I'm not going to take this anymore. So just wanted to share a quick story with you, Alex. Like I said, it's great to talk to you. It's great to be on the air. And keep up the good work.
Well, thank you, sir. Really great testimony, and how you found the broadcast via somebody putting an Infowars.com bumper sticker on their car. That's how we reach out to people. That's how we're going to change the future destiny of society and our culture. Good people can either stand up and say no to corruption, or we can just give into it, and then the pit of hell is the limit. I appreciate you calling in. Thank you. We're going to go to more calls here, but police are trained. There's terrorists everywhere. Everyone's an insurgent. Everyone's a suspect but government. And anybody that doesn't immediately follow their orders is a criminal who needs to be tasered and arrested. And again, a lot of police got into policing because of family or a need to serve, or it seems like a decent job when they get out of the military and they want some adventure. But I'd say if you look at the criminology, maybe 20% end up getting out of police academy, right around that number, are either sociopaths, sadists, psychopaths, high-functioning psychopaths. They're on power trips. And they're the cops that rape women. They're the CPS people that rape little kids. They're the firemen that, plant pipe bombs so they can save the day. They're the people that will use that to oppress and dominate folks. And government is now psychologically testing, not even so much looking for criminals, but for kind of dumbed down people that will get off on dominating people from a mindset of for their own good. And, I see the videos online all the time where the cops show up and they go, we had a report of yelling. No, everything's fine. Well, we're going to come in your house. No, it's all right. The husband, wife, we're fine. Kids are playing in the yard. We don't feel like talking to you. You don't have a warrant. Well, come out of there or we're going to kick down your door. So they kick down the door. The people have their hands up and they taser them as an act of dominance, as an act of, I'm going to punish you. They call that pain compliance. Pain compliance. And, I've seen videos from 20 years ago. It's in the extra of my film, Martial Law. And in that documentary, we show in the extra where the LAPD and others have pro-life demonstrators that are just sitting on the sidewalk. And they come over with nunchucks, twist their arms till they compound fracture and bones pop out. And the federal judge ruled that was good because they didn't get up when they were told, so we're going to give you a compound fracture, which, by the way, can kill you. We're going to basically snap your arm in a way meant to twist the arm off, show the bone. If you keep going, you can twist the whole arm off completely. It's not that hard to tear somebody's arm off with nunchucks. And they just twist. All right, okay, bones sticking out. And then the preacher and the priest, there's video, they fall over with their arms broken, and the cops come over with billy clubs and get a few extra beats in because This is like a sexual rape experience for them. There's blood. They've got some bones popped out. And it's so pleasurable to see the priest fall on the ground and then to come over and beat him with a billy club. It feels so manly, so good to hurt an innocent person who wants to draw attention to killing children. It feels so good doing that you want to continue it. And we now have state-run religion to a great extent in this country where they're, teaching everybody that they need to worship the government. That's what the Bible says, instead of support a constitutional government. That it's really disgusting, but you didn't submit to that cop. You didn't produce your ID. And again, it would have been one thing if he had a report of a burglar and it was a real report, and then the cop shows up and you're running around the back of the house and they want to see your ID. But, I've had alarms go off at my house before, back when I lived in town. And, you put your shirt on, your pants on, you turn it off because one time a bird flew into the window and set it off. Another time, I don't know why it went off. Cops show up 20 minutes later. They're banging on the door. You go down. You're wearing shorts, T-shirt. You open your door and you go, yeah, I'm Alex Jones. I live here. And both the cops look at me. And they recognize, who I am. And they're like, oh, yeah, Alex Jones. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, all right. They start turning away. And I say, have a great night. They turn back around. They go, let us see your ID. And my office was right there. And I said, okay. And I got it. These cops know who they are. And I got it. And I said, here it is. And they didn't even really look at it. It was an act of domination. And I said, hey, you be safe out there. I said, you knew who I was. You just did that to make me do something. And I laughed at them. I mean, can you imagine? No, because they admitted, no, we thought that was you. Really? You know I live here. You can check the address. I am 1 foot away from you under a porch light. I didn't get into all this with them. And you want to see my ID just because I showed them humanity and said, hey, you guys have a great night. Be careful out there. I think that's what I said, yeah. Have a great night. Be careful out there. And it was a male cop and a female cop. It was the female cop turned around, looked at me. I got to be honest, it's female cops generally. I'm not saying they're all bad, but they're the worst. And said, let me see your ID. And I looked at her and I smiled at her. And I said, yeah, okay, I'll show you that. And then after I gave it to him, I got back and I said, you knew who I was, didn't you? And the cop behind her goes, yeah, we do. We thought that was you. I just looked at him and said, going back to exact memory, I said, you just did that to make me do that. And I laughed at him and shut the door. Because it's funny. I mean, it'd be like if, they went to the mayor's house and they know the mayor, they've met the mayor. And, okay, mayor, can I see your ID? Just a mindless act of domination. Because I showed him humanity. See, I've noticed with police, especially the bad ones, if I bow up and am arrogant and really use an authoritative voice on them, they tend to back off and get freaked out. But then with bad police, if you act friendly towards them, they act like it's weird because they don't want to be your friend. They don't want there to be a community. They've been taught, in fact, the FBI training manual will say, if someone chats you up and is nice to you, they may be an extremist. Let's go to another call here. Rob in California, you're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Alex. How are you?
Good, buddy. Welcome.
Hey, thank you for taking my call. I am, in a sense, going through the process of waking up, have been for about a year or so. And one of the things that has really resonated with me and which spurred me to call in was the fact that you just said open lines. But back to my point, I'm an epileptic. I've had epilepsy since I was about 14. It was when I was first diagnosed. Moved out to California a couple of years back, changed medications, and got off the antidepressant that I was taking at the time to control the seizures. And I'm taking a new drug that is not an antidepressant, which has really accelerated the process of waking up. And every once in a while, I hear you talk about fluoride in the water as well as, SSRIs and antidepressants. But what I'd really like to get your take on is if you could share some insight on either fluoride or antidepressants and how that factors into various neurological disorders such as the one I have with epilepsy or autism for that matter. That would be great. I think that, situations like this and health concerns and foods are a real good way to connect with people who, like myself, for a long time didn't want to get in and recognize the fact that there is a larger dark force, say the New World Order and all that other stuff. That's a lot to grasp. But when you get on a topic such as like for me, epilepsy, there's something that I can really identify with, and for a lot of other people, it's food and water, and that can be the turning point in somebody who's almost there. But
no, I hear you, Rob, and again, we don't necessarily know that your epilepsy was caused by environmental issues. It may be genetic, but we know epilepsy and all their brain disorders are way up.
We all know that Berkey water purification systems are the most trusted name in water filtration. As an authorized Berkey dealer for over 6 years and serving thousands of satisfied customers, the Berkey Guy offers amazing specials for Berkey water filtration systems. The Berkey Light systems include a set of self-sterilizing and recleanable black purification elements that purify water by removing chlorine, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, and parasites to non-detectable levels and remove harmful chemicals such as herbicides and pesticides. Order the Berkey Light system today, complete with 2 black Berkey elements for only $231, and the Berkey Guy will ship your order free of charge. With the purchase of a Berkey Light, the Berkey Guy is also offering a set of fluoride and arsenic filters for only $39.99. That's over 30% off the retail price. Call the Berkey Guy at 1-877-886-3653. That's 1-877-886-3653. Or order online at goberkey.com. That's goberkey.com today.
In the U.S., 1 in every 50 homes will have a break-in this year. Burglars call it smash and grab. Police call it robbery. We call it avoidable. We are Fake TV, a simple electronic device that can fool even professional burglars. Fake TV easily plugs into any outlet and simulates the changing colors of a television. To a burglar, it looks like someone must be home watching TV, so they'll likely move on to an easier target. At only $29.95, Fake TV costs less than a month of most alarm monitoring plans and comes with free shipping. Order your Fake TV by calling 877-5-FAKE-TV or go to faketv.com. That's 877-532-5388 or faketv.com. Fake TV, the burglar deterrent.
Digestive health is the key to wellness and elimination of toxins. That bears repeating. Digestive health is the key to wellness and elimination of toxins. And Pro EM1 Daily Probiotic Cleanse is the key to digestive health. Pro EM1 is a powerful liquid probiotic, strong enough to cleanse, gentle enough to use every day. Pro EM1 is dairy, wheat, and soy-free, contains all natural and certified organic ingredients, contains no preservatives or animal products, supports a healthy digestive and immune system, supports weight loss, improves absorption of food nutrients, aids in controlling yeast infections, is never freeze-dried, and uses 3 groups of live, viable, beneficial microbes to cleanse and remove toxins. Order Pro EM1 Daily Probiotic Cleanse at Terraganix.com, spelled TerraGanix.com, Terraganix.com. Or call toll-free 866-369-3678. That's 866-369-3678. Pro EM1, the raw probiotic.
Many times I've listened, many times I've wanted.
You know, we had that last caller who was bringing up epilepsy, and I've had Dr. Russell Blaylock, brain surgeon, on. I've had many other medical doctors on to go over what the bisphenol A and the hydrofluorosilicic acid, the fluoride, what all the different chemicals in the food and the water are doing, what the pesticides that are grown pharmacologically in the crops so that insects can't eat them, what that does to guinea pigs and things. And it's neurological disorders, the entire spectrum, depends on your genetics, what it's going to do to you. They're all just going straight up. This is what we talked about yesterday. Cancers going straight up. IQs going straight down. Sperm count going straight down. Female fertility going straight down. People ask, well, then why are lower class poor people able to have so many kids? Because they have them when they're about 12 or 13. And then, quote, middle class or wealthy people tend to start having kids at about 35, 40. And by then, you're infertile. And this stuff's all been actuaried out. I mean, they write books about it. Bertrand Russell wrote books. The White House science czar wrote books. Henry Kissinger, we're going to play the clip next hour. The video's up on Infowars.com. Was confronted about State Department Memorandum 200 for forced population reduction. And then said, get out of here, ridiculous, in his fake German accent. You know, he's got a brother, because they've lived in the U.S. since they were teenagers, who has no German accent. It's just completely fake. Dr. Kissinger. I mean, what a joke. He was getting an award by Wesley Clark. No, it wasn't Wesley Clark. It was General Petraeus, excuse me, who was talking about what a hero Henry Kissinger is. Kissinger's the one that engineered the sellout of our republic to China. Not to the Chinese people, but to the communist Chinese, to use them as a managed market to leverage out our communities. I mean, here's an example. I was reading the news yesterday. My son was at work and brought it to my attention that China can sell mahogany beds and stuff from Madagascar for hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they're allowed to ship their guitars. Of course, the owner of Gibson, the CEO, part owner, had talked about this on the show. They're allowed to ship all that in, violating the Carry Act, but that's left alone because they lobby Congress and the federal regulators. But then American companies can't go to other countries, get legal hardwood, bring it in, and make stuff here. Even if you can pay the living wage, pay the insurance, pay all the extra stuff, they won't let you get the wood to build it, and they will SWAT team raid you until you're shut down. The Lacey Act. And, you know, this is the type of stuff that they do. And because they used America's openness to shut us down. We were an open, free country by and large, wide open, and then we just allowed foreign bribery to go on, and now we are just being shut down. I mean, you know how much money you can make coming in and shutting down your competition? That automatically opens up the market for only you. Whether it's guitars, or whether it's electricity from coal power plants, or whether it's cars, or whether it's medicines, whatever it is. America is done if people like Henry Kissinger have their way. As we end this hour, please remember the broadcast is listener-supported. When you buy the books, the videos, the T-shirts, the products, it helps wake people up around you and also funds our operation. We have the Pro Pure water filters, 15% off, only running that for a few more days. Promo code WATER15 to get 15% off.
This is GCN, the Genesis Communications Radio Network.
Cal-Ben Soap Company can save you thousands of dollars and give you good old-fashioned real soap that is triple concentrated and made from the highest quality vegetable and coconut oils. See them on the web, www.5starsoap.com, or call 1-800-340-7091 for a free catalog and buy American-made products. Order the sampler, a 1 to 2 month supply, or get a 1 to 2 year supply of soaps for all your cleaning needs. You're getting soap products twice as good as what you're using now. This is an amazing deal, and you will love the way real soap makes your skin feel. Call 1-800-340-7091 or visit www.5starsoap.com. Alex and his staff have used these earth-friendly, pure soaps for years. See them on the web, www.5starsoap.com, or call 1-800-340-7091 for a catalog.
Waging war on corruption. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
All right, folks, we're into hour number 2, taking your phone calls right now. I'll continue with calls right now, and then I'm going to get into some of the military and police news. Got a bunch of important clips we're going to play. Henry Kissinger's calling for the U.S. to merge with authoritarian China to form a new world order. And he'll be at Bilderberg, of course, next week. I'll be there if they let me into England covering that. Let's go ahead and talk to Daniel in Canada, another holding of the German Queen of England. Daniel, you're on the air. Welcome.
Good afternoon, sir. This is your informative extremist from Edmonton, Alberta. I just wanted to bring up a few points, and then I'll briefly discuss them, and you can bring up your thoughts after. So first thing I want to talk about today, especially from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. I know a lot of listeners are here from Canada, but I wanted to bring this to their attention. Recently, police officers on their uniforms are now attaching cameras. And they'll be recording every confrontation they have with a suspected criminal, so they can have this in court, I guess. So watch out for that one.
Well, there's no perception of privacy in public, but then cops act like when you have a camera that you've just, burned a house down or something. And again, they want to use the cameras when it can bolster their side of the story. That's why all of us need to have cameras as well.
And just like that new Tyranny app you guys released not too long ago, that would be an effective Tyranny Watch, I believe it was called. That's on the nightly news. That would be a good counter for that one. But moving quickly here also, recently our new mayor, Stephen Mandel, stepped down. And this is quite getting my... it's making me nervous because... basically, if this new mayor stepped down, he's been on his 8th term already. And when he's stepping down, I'm really scared they're going to get some Fed in there, and it's just going to completely change our city, because we're a smaller city. We're not really the biggest in Canada, but we are quite a big chunk some. And, new mayor is going to be elected pretty soon, and I'm going to see how that's going to be. And also, not too long ago, during the May 2nd, I think it was the Osama bin Laden fake death, and there was an InfoWars article saying, beware, be cautious for heightened alert attacks from the State Department released that, or the State of Defense. And on that same day, there was multiple bomb threats all over Canada as well. We had a couple bomb threats close to my house, and we also had...
Sure. Well, I mean, who has the motive to put out bomb threats? Government, because then it gets to pose as the savior. Thanks, Daniel. Robert in California, you're on the air.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. How you doing today?
Not doing too well, actually. Go ahead.
Hey, I just wanted to congratulate you last week for Rachel Maddow coming out and attacking you after Piers Morgan and some of these other acts that are happening. This just goes to show you how effective you are becoming, and I just wanted to thank you for a driving force.
Brother, you don't need to thank me, man. I'm just trying to survive here. I mean, only a crazy person would not fight these tyrants. And again, Rachel Maddow has no audience on her own. The reason Piers Morgan was so big was that it was aired all over the world, and it was put on television everywhere. It was a huge media event to have the trance broken. But I hear you, and I appreciate you calling in. What's on your mind? Because I see you want to talk about Benghazi wars, etc.
Yeah, I just everything that you just keep pounding and pushing out there is really, something here eventually is going to stick. I mean, I pray to God that this is going to come down. I pray to God for you and your crew that you guys are safe. And when I say thank you, I mean thank you because you helped wake me up and to start really looking at these issues. And as soon as I had a buddy who came back from Hawaii years back and watched the program, and it was your buddy that you helped produce that the 9/11 documentary. That was a wake-up call for me back then. And I've just really enjoyed over the years helping to educate other people when it comes to chemtrails. And I just really appreciate your driving force because you help...
Brother, kudos to you as well. We'll be right back.
You prepare by purchasing gold, food, and firearms. But if you don't have a home security system, then you're missing a critical weapon in your arsenal for home protection. When you're sleeping or away from home, who's watching out for intruders? Check out Simply Safe. It's a new do-it-yourself home security system that is completely wireless. Go to GetSimplySafe.com. Simply Safe is independent and off the grid. It runs on battery power, so even if the grid goes down, you're protected. It's completely customizable, so you can use it in your home, business, boat, trailer, storage unit, or shed. GetSimplySafe.com. Simply Safe is also ridiculously easy to install yourself in under 20 minutes, so there's no need to let a stranger into your home. If you move or need to relocate, you can take the system with you wherever you go. You aren't always at home, but Simply Safe will stand guard, protecting your property 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Again, that's GetSimplySafe.com.
There's been a disaster, and most of you don't even realize the serious concern for all of us. Alex Jones has warned you for years to get the most important supply you can for your liberty, freedom, and security, and that's food. We thought the danger was drought, or food diverted to our gas tanks, or food so expensive that we'd all need financial assistance to afford it, or our food being sold to other countries. But here's the most effective way you'll lose your liberty and security without a fight: government regulation. The do-it-yourself public services of many LDS Mormon food storage canneries can no longer be provided. This, along with the recent private gardening and farming regulations and additional government control of food supplies and resources, says food is the ultimate priority. eFoods Direct will provide free shipping on all food orders until further notice. Call 800-409-5633 or on the web efoodsdirect.com/Alex.
I had tried everything. I'd cut back the amount of food I was eating. I was lifting weights and jogging, but nothing was working. My body was literally starving for minerals and trace elements as well as key vitamins. And as soon as I had that, I immediately could eat half of what I was eating previously and be satisfied. Now, there are hundreds of great products at InfoWarsTeam.com, but I want to point out the 3 that have helped me lose 37 pounds in just 2 months. Products like Beyond Tangy Tangerine, Pollen Burst, and Rebound. When I started taking the Tangy Tangerine and other products every day, I lost more than 37 pounds in just 2 months. Now that's results. I want to challenge my listeners to go to InfoWarsTeam.com and to order just 3 of their products, and you will see the changes in the way you look, feel, and in your appetite almost immediately. Start your journey to health and wellness today. InfoWarsTeam.com.
Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
Folks, thank you for joining us. We are now into the second hour today. We're going to continue with open phones, but at the bottom of the hour, media analyst and commentator Mark Dice is going to be joining us. He goes out and does those man on the streets that make jaywalking pale in significance in L.A., where he doesn't just pick the stupid people. He puts who he actually talks to, and 90% of people plus will say we should have fascist rule to arrest all the Tea Partiers. He'll go out and have them say, yeah, we should start door-to-door gun confiscation, and people sign a petition. And he went out also and talked to people and asked them, what is Memorial Day on Memorial Day? And hardly anyone knew even what it was. And so he's going to be joining us at the bottom of the hour, and we're going to play some of that video and audio here on air. Also, Henry Kissinger, who, if you don't know how bad he is, he was the former Secretary of State. He has been involved in the democratic overthrow of Chile and hundreds of thousands killed, famously illegally bombing Cambodia. But his larger crimes are State Department Memorandum 200, which said cut off people's food so they starve to death all over the world, arm rebels to destabilize stable governments, to sow discord, to reduce human population. Serious wars against humanity. Not a war to say we've been attacked, we're defending ourselves. That's a righteous war, a legitimate war. Not even a preemptive war to conquer someone and, kill their military, but just conquer them because you want to control that area. That's an immoral war, but nothing compared to we're going to take over an area and we're going to use wars and we're going to use famine and all this stuff to kill the general public. That is a crime against humanity. And he got confronted, the article's up on Infowars.com, Kissinger confronted as mass murderer by Luke Rudkowski, who's going to pop in at the start of the next hour. One of my proteges. I'm very proud of the work he does with his team. It's first-rate, an example to all reporters. We've got great reporters, but I think they're an example to us and myself as well. The great job they do. So we're going to be airing that in a moment. But first, here is Kissinger, U.S. and China to collaborate on globalist world order. And he was speaking to the Asia Society on how to build a world order, that means globalism, for the first time in history on a global basis. So a global order based on global basis, global government. And he talks about doing that with China. Not the Chinese people, but with the incredibly oppressive Chinese government, who, by the way, again, they get to ship in hardwoods out of Madagascar to the U.S., and they're allowed to do it. But U.S. companies go and get it from other legal, lawful, certified areas like Gibson, and they're shut down for months on end and persecuted because they're an American company and they're conservative. Again, this is a managed economy we're looking at. So let's go ahead and go to that Kissinger clip.
As has already been pointed out, we had a common adversary. But as time has evolved, we are now facing a common challenge. And the challenge is how to build a world order for the first time in history on a global basis. We talk a lot about world community, but the fact is there has never been a world community before. The various regions conducted foreign policy and their affairs in substantial isolation from each other.
That's right.
Or else, one region, primarily Europe, dominated the rest of the world. This is the first time that different cultures are interacting on a permanent basis to establish a peaceful and growing international system.
All right, let's stop there. Again, they always sell globalism as a great thing. This is where the authoritarians of the world gang up to leverage out other free or wealthy areas. See, in the old days, even if a government was somewhat corrupt, they would want wealth so they could skim more off the top. And they would want the country to be wealthy because that made the public acquiesce to their centralized control, which, again, they skimmed off the top. This is the opposite. Globalism is a form of hyper-feudalism or mercantilism, where it's a managed economy, where they want control where only they can operate, and where they use that centralized control to leverage out all their competition towards an aim of making the population poor, towards the aim of making them more manageable, towards the aim of having them accept social engineering, State Department Memorandum 200, or the Royal Commission on Population 1949, which is the plan of this whole program worldwide. You'll never hear the liberals, who are really authoritarian nightmare demons, you'll never hear them saying, hey, we shouldn't have Foxconn with suicide nets for Apple. Apple, shouldn't be the most bloodthirsty, hardcore corporation, paying Chinese workers 30 cents an hour. And their children en masse are chained up in warehouses or on light poles outside, lucky if they get one meal a day. How are we going to compete with that? That's not going to build China up, and that's not a living wage for them, where you create an economy. They don't want you wealthy. Mexico can't even compete with China now. India can't compete with China. It is a race to the bottom, as Ross Perot famously described on CNN. I have clips of this in my film, Fall the Republic, where we explain they're not just going to kill the dollar as the world reserve currencies. They're killing all the currencies, hyperinflating them, but depressing the real economy at the same time so that the hyperinflation doesn't really show itself very fast. Because the real economy is constricting worldwide. So even if you have hyperinflation, that hot money is only given to insiders. And so you only see the real inflation in luxury items or in real estate or things like that. And so it is a managed, computerized, technocratic economy. Look at this article right here out of CNBC. Is the dollar dying? Why the U.S. currency is in danger. And if you go to drudgereport.com, above that, or below that, it has a article about the rise of the new order. For years now, the collapse of the dollar has been in the cards. Recent developments showing mounting pressure on the dollar reserve currency status with a major international deflation going on. The threat of inflation through money printing is unreal. However, should the dollar's reserve currency status end, the repatriation of trillions of petro and euro dollars could lead to a strongly inflationary scenario. And that's from the site Real Currencies. Absolutely on target with that statement. There is world depression going on while they hyperinflate away the giant derivatives debts, which are not ours, they're the globalist. They use that derivative wall to buy up control of the world. With the dollar as the reserve currency, the U.S. had to export dollars. In the early years, after the war, especially for Europe, the famous euro dollars, this sounds great. Print money and buy whatever you like. But with gold window, it was also risky. Overprinting could mean excess dollars would be exchanged back into gold, depleting U.S. reserves. So what do? They just naked short gold so that gold prices don't actually go up for what they should via global dollar inflation, but then people won't sell their gold even when they artificially deflate it. So in the real world, gold's actually where it always was, up. It's just all fraud within fraud. And I'm kind of digress into all this. The point is that it's a rigged system. And when we come back from break, I'm going to play this confrontation with Henry Kissinger via Luke Rudkowski. He's given the award. And then Luke, well, I'll describe it when we come back from break. But it gives me a headache. I mean, just all of this really does give me a giant screaming headache because it's so obvious. All of this is like a sick joke, and it just gets weirder and weirder and weirder and more absurdist, where they get away with more and more and more. And there's some good signs where people are beating smart meters all over the U.S. that are spying on them and radiating them. And folks are, marching against Monsanto, and the media blacks it out. But that only discredits the mainstream media that much more. And citizen journalists are confronting people, and a lot of folks are waking up. And the scandals are coming out. But still, it's kind of like too little too late in a way, because you've kind of got a paradox where there's these dumbed-down yuppies everywhere who think not caring is cool and who don't even know what Memorial Day is, who buy into the whole system, and then you've got those of us that are informed and work hard, and then you've got the welfare mass. Some of them know the system's corrupt, but they're either disabled or can't find a job, deindustrialization. A lot of them, you know, actually you can't even blame them. You've got the illegals brought in to drive down the wages. You can't even blame them. But still, it is, I mean, the elite thinks they're going to steal all the wealth and just live in armored fortresses. But then, clearly, they're not disciplined enough to stay segregated away from all of us. It's all a bunch of people lying to themselves. It's a decadent culture is what it is, and it is cruising for a collapse.
Great news, pure water lovers. BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com has a special discount offer for all GCN listeners. You can't do better than a Big Berkey for economy. For only 1.7 cents a gallon, a single set of filters can last for 5 to 10 years. There's none better than a Big Berkey for emergency preparedness as a backup water source. And you just can't beat a Big Berkey to remove dangerous chlorine, all types of fluoride, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, parasites, and unhealthy byproducts from municipal water. Berkey water filter systems are even powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. For the gold standard in water filters, get a Big Berkey at BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. And all GCN listeners get 5% off all ceramic filter systems. For details, call 1-877-99-BERKEY. That's 877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
What if you had a witness everywhere you drive? Now you can with videodashcam.com. From truckers to motorcyclists, the handy video dashcam can be used for insurance claims, accidents, police encounters, road rage, or natural disasters. Has instant screen playback and optional night vision. Get the best quality, affordable HD dash cameras available at videodashcam.com. That's videodashcam.com. Or call 855-855-2022. Always have a witness with Video Dashcam.
We the people grow cotton, weave fabric, engrave ink, embed strips and fibers to protect from counterfeit, then carting to a private bank, having it led back at interest, forcing taxes to service debt. This capitalism, or was Jefferson correct when stating a central bank issuing the public currency is a greater menace to the liberties of the people than a standing army? Hi, Ted Anderson. I'm placing a free silver dollar in a book that explains our monetary system. Call for your copy, 800-686-2237. It's time to understand the system. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
You prepare by purchasing gold, food, and firearms. But if you don't have a home security system, then you're missing a critical weapon in your arsenal for home protection. When you're sleeping or away from home, who's watching out for intruders? Check out Simply Safe. It's a new do-it-yourself home security system that is completely wireless. Go to GetSimplySafe.com. Simply Safe is independent and off the grid. It runs on battery power, so even if the grid goes down, you're protected. It's completely customizable, so you can use it in your home, business, boat, trailer, storage unit, or shed. GetSimplySafe.com. Simply Safe is also ridiculously easy to install yourself in under 20 minutes, so there's no need to let a stranger into your home. If you move or need to relocate, you can take the system with you wherever you go. You aren't always at home, but Simply Safe will stand guard, protecting your property 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Again, that's GetSimplySafe.com.
Introducing a 30-day emergency food supply for only $99. At 30dayfoodsupply.com, you can purchase Oregon Trail Foods' 1 month supply of high-quality, nutritious, and healthy emergency meals for less than $100. These vegetarian meals are all natural, non-GMO, high in carbs and protein, and are packed with oxygen absorbers in Mylar pouches. They take up to 70% less space than number 10 cans, have a 20-year shelf life, and huge portions, over twice the serving size of some competitors' meals. Oregon Trail Foods and 30dayfoodsupply.com keep prices low by buying direct from producers in Oregon and then pass the savings on to you. Purchase a 30-day, 90-serving emergency food supply for only $99 this month, and $10 ships your entire order to the lower 48. Call 541-673-6666 or visit 30dayfoodsupply.com, where they make preparedness affordable. 30dayfoodsupply.com. Got it? Get it. Go to 30dayfoodsupply.com.
Okay, so the video, if you want to see it, is even more powerful. It's up on Infowars.com. Kissinger, who's openly calling for the U.S. and China to collaborate on a globalist authoritarian world order, was confronted just a few days ago by our own Luke Rudkowski that is going to be popping in at the start of the next hour. And you've just got to love how he's being given this award by General Petraeus, the guy that brags, yeah, the CIA watches you via your appliances. And then he gives him a Freedom Award. So I will narrate some of this video for radio listeners. But again, the full video is up on Infowars.com. Kissinger confronted as a mass murderer. Here it is.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Board of Trustees of the Intrepid Sea, Air, and Space Museum, I am deeply honored to present the 2013 Intrepid Award to my friend and my hero, the Honorable Henry A. Kissinger.
Totally disgusting. They're in tuxedos. He gets off on the crowd. He loves it. This is video of Luke in the bathroom putting on his glasses that have a camera in them and getting ready to go in. Yeah, I've seen police with those glasses now. We need that type right there. He comes over to Kissinger at his table, leans over him and says this.
Hi, Mr. Kissinger. It's a pleasure. How you doing? I just wanted to know, what do you mean when you said illegal we do immediately, unconstitutional takes a little longer, the WikiLeaks document? What do you mean by that?
Come on.
No. I mean, it came out, WikiLeaks.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff on it.
Do you know the agenda of the Bilderberg?
What? What are you doing this for?
I'm here covering this event. Just wanted to talk to you. We are change. And we want to know maybe what the agenda of the Bilderberg group meeting is going to be in a couple days. Do you know?
Get lost, please.
Get lost.
How does it feel winning the Freedom Award when you're wanted as a mass murderer and wanted in many countries and butchered millions of people? How does it feel? You know it's a lie.
You self-serving coward, get lost.
I'm not a coward. You know this Freedom Award's a lie, and you're wanted for mass murder in different countries. You know it's a lie.
And so, ladies and gentlemen,
all right.
On behalf of the board.
And then there's even more footage of him out at the dinner coming out, and they're confronting him. Coward, you're a coward. The opposite of, obviously, of a coward, going and confronting him, calling him self-serving. He called him a coward and said, you're self-serving. When Kissinger blueprinted the one-child policy in China, blueprinted shutting down our industry to transfer it to their industries, with Kissinger and Maurice Strong controlling them in China, making up bajillions. And he just sits there, this pathetic, seeing the video, he gets up there to be given the award, and it's always these globalist spiders hugging on each other and grasping at each other and giving each other awards for what they've done. And the arrogant Henry Kissinger, high-ranking globalist operative, complicit in mass murder in Latin America, bombing civilians in North Vietnam, terror bombing of Cambodia, overthrowing of democratically elected government in Chile, and then setting China up to deindustrialize the United States. But his biggest crime, ladies and gentlemen, is programs to start wars against conservative governments, communist governments, liberal governments, any government. If it wasn't wrecking the society, in his memorandum, you can read it, it's declassified in 1992, it's from 1973, he says to destabilize these countries, destabilize everything so they can come in and take over. And they're running the same program, it's called Agenda 21, against us here in this republic. Mark Dice is coming up, then we'll go to Chris, and we'll go to David, Elliott, Montine, Jonathan, and many others that are patiently holding. And again, the scandals on the IRS, we've got some breaking news on that. IRS higher-ups requested info on conservative groups. Letters show. No kidding, they did. These are authoritarians. These are not liberals. These are people that want your money and want you to be their slave. They're slave masters.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Introducing Pro One. All of your filtration in one system, portable, on the go. No more do you have 2 or 3 filters to just reduce sodium fluoride. You have a system that cuts out the sodium fluoride and up to 95% of hydrofluorosilicic acid. Advanced manufacturing technology combines silver-impregnated white ceramic with new Aquamedics advanced media for removal of fluoride and other heavy metals, all in one filter element. It is the only one that does it, and out of the gates, we have it discounted at 10% off with promo code WATER. This is the only system that in one unit helps reduce or remove pesticides, herbicides, chloramines, ammonia, and chlorine, hydrofluorosilicic acid, the most common form of fluoride not covered by other fluoride filter brands, and sodium hexafluorosilicate. Get your Pro Pure with the new Pro One filter today at InfoWarsStore.com or by calling 888-253-3139.
With health threats on the rise, such as West Nile virus, MRSA, CRE, and now the new bird flu recently discovered in China, there has never been a more crucial time to support your immune system. Supernatural Silver is a revolutionary new silver solution that is clinically shown to be several hundred times more effective than colloidal or ionic silver, and is powerful enough to help protect you and your family. Supernatural Silver is scientifically supported, highly effective, and perfect for everyday use inside the body as well as out. The Science Digest Journal says silver is our mightiest germ fighter. It is virtually non-toxic and is emerging as a wonder of modern medicine. Supernatural Silver is the #1 choice of thousands for improved health and immune system support. To find out how Supernatural Silver can change your life, go to supernaturalsilver.com and use the promo code SPRING2013 for 20% off, and like us on Facebook.
Cal-Ben Soap Company can save you thousands of dollars and give you good old-fashioned real soap that is triple concentrated and made from the highest quality vegetable and coconut oils. See them on the web, www.5starsoap.com, or call 1-800-340-7091 for a free catalog and buy American-made products. Order the sampler, a 1 to 2 month supply, or get a 1 to 2 year supply of soaps for all your cleaning needs. You're getting soap products twice as good as what you're using now. This is an amazing deal, and you will love the way real soap makes your skin feel. Call 1-800-340-7091 or visit www.5starsoap.com. Alex and his staff have used these earth-friendly, pure soaps for years. See them on the web, www.5starsoap.com, or call 1-800-340-7091 for a catalog.
From the front lines of the information war, it's Alex Jones.
Watch me! Watch me! I got it! Watch me! I got it! Hey! I got something that makes me want to shout. I got something that tells me what it's all about. I got soul!
And I'm super bad. All right, folks, we're back live.
Soul, and I'm super bad.
Bad in a good way. Huh. Ladies and gentlemen, that kind of made me happy. A little bit of that James Brown coming in there with us. We're going to go to our guest here in just a moment with some pretty amazing information. The realization that people don't know what Memorial Day is. And they don't know anything else. And they think it's like a shield of protection. We're going to talk about that with media analyst and author Mark Dice. But first, I wanted to remind listeners that I have assembled the best books, the best videos, the best T-shirts, the best information to wake people up, non-GMO. heirloom, super high-quality seeds at the lowest price, one of the widest selections, the best non-GMO, clean, storable foods, all of it to be self-sufficient at InfoWarsStore.com. And I'm extending it out until the end of Bilderberg coverage, until the 9th of June. I'm extending the 15% off on ProPure water filtration systems. That's 15% off the already lowest price you're going to find out there. I am the biggest distributor of these. Stainless steel, gravity-fed, their filters, blow away the competition, side-by-side comparisons, all available at InfoWarsStore.com. And you can also call toll-free to get your order in, 888-253-3139. Now, the factory just made a bunch more of the stainless steel systems, but they're already very close to selling out of the Traveler. That's my favorite, the lowest priced one, and it also is the smaller one that's great for your RV or your car or camping or at work or, you know, wherever. Gravity-fed filters to stop drinking all the poisons and garbage that are in the water table or that are added into there. They've got the special filters you can also get to cut out the fluoride. The point is that it's all discounted, 15% off with promo code WATER15. But I'll run it till the 9th if supplies last. And then it'll go on back order. They're making more right now. They should have more in a few weeks, they think. And they're not sold out yet in their warehouse, but they're getting close. You order from us, drop ship it from them, you know, the manufacturer. The point is that if you want your Traveler especially, or if you want any of them, you better get it right now because people go crazy when I give 15% off. I've done this one other time, and it's sold out in about 2 weeks. We've been going about less than a week on this. So if you want it, get it. It is the ProPure water filtration system. Go read up on it and break with the system now. Stop drinking the tap water. That's something big you can do right there. Start trying to eat non-GMO some of the time. You know, just begin. The journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. So InfoWarsStore.com or 888-253-3139, 888-253-3139. You can also find all the great vitamins and minerals, close to 400 products and a free catalog and free shipping when you sign up for auto ship at InfoWarsHealth.com. And again, all your purchases with us, shopping with the good guys, finance is what we're doing, the media division I'm building, the films we're trying to make, all the things we do. I was just talking to my accountant yesterday because I don't really pay much attention to it. I thought, you know, Bloomberg called me up a couple times the last few weeks asking how much money I make and how much it costs to run things. And last time I checked, just bandwidth's $500,000 a year. It's actually more than that now. And I thought, you know, I better go over and actually check some of the stuff. I haven't looked in about 3 or 4 months at my finances. And I will tell you, this year I'm set to take no money. Hiring crew and doing all this because I'm all in fighting the globalist, that I am set this year. So far, I've paid myself nothing, and that was kind of my goal, but it's a good thing I'm paying myself nothing because we're breaking even. I mean, we're in there, folks. I scrounge to get the funds to run this operation. And I know the crew knows that as well, that this is a big historical thing happening here. And, you know, the money that comes into here, it was really hard to get. That's why my crew all works so hard and is so focused, realizing the historical fight we're in. And just how big a deal it is that we've even been able to develop this. So again, I want to thank all of you out there for your support. And be sure and support us also, and the message, and yourself by supporting our local AM and FM affiliates, supporting their local sponsors, or becoming a local sponsor locally, and spreading the word. You can do that for free, folks. Tell people about Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. We want to thank folks out there that also post our stories and promote them on their own news sites. Okay. Mark Dice on his YouTube channel and at markdice.com every week does these videos, and we post them on Infowars.com, where he goes out, and we've even gotten raw footage, you know, from him to use in films, and I get to see it. And when he goes and shows, say, 15 people, and 14 of them call for all guns to be confiscated and Tea Partiers to be arrested, that he didn't talk to 100 people to get 14 of them to say that, and only one person say no. That's what you get. When I sent Leanne McAdoo out to say, should we ban hydrogen monoxide, that's water, we had, I think it was 9 people said ban it, and one guy said he wouldn't sign the petition. One guy bragged that he had a degree in chemistry, but didn't know and said, yeah, let's ban dihydrogen monoxide. Now, a globalist would see that and go, food, dumb slaves, I'll manipulate them. A person that wants to have a future for humanity goes, man, we're in deep trouble. And Mark Dice went and did a video that we posted on Monday, on Memorial Day, out there in Oceanside by L.A. that made me physically ill because these people weren't just stupid he talked to. They were smiling. They were laughing. They don't care. And some of them said, oh, I'm from Chicago. We're ruthless. We don't care about anybody. You know, we're sinister. He uses some term like that. No, what they are is craven. They're chicken. Anyways, I've been using the term that I'm craven, but the point is that was a joke. They are craven. And they're like, I don't care about anybody but me. And there's all these magazines about self and me, and I'm getting ahead, and I'm going to screw somebody, and I'm going to... And people think that. They think hiding in their cubicle gets them ahead. They think screwing off is, you know, how they have success in the world. These people aren't even living. And the globalists are like, yeah, see, they're lazy, they're stupid, they don't like any... They shouldn't even be alive. But here's the deal. I will not morally sign on to you being injected with cancer viruses and hydrofluorosilicic acid, because the globalists did a lot of this to you with the culture and by giving you role models that are lazy and role models where the men are passive and stupid and weak, because it is immoral and it makes my spirit cringe. But you need to know that because you think you're getting ahead because you care about no one but yourself, you're going to die alone. You're a chump. But he talked to these people, and two of them knew what Memorial Day was, and one guy looked like he was angry at Mark, and he should have been, you know, because he thought Mark was really saying Memorial Day is for surfers that have died. But we're going to go to this clip because, you know, some people got mad at our crew. We went out and said, let's have up to age 3 post-birth abortion. Some people with kids agreed to it. It's a woman's right to kill her kids up to age 3. Oh, yes, I agree with it. Some people got mad at our reporters. You should get mad when that type of evil's being pushed. None of us are safe. And I'm sick of Memorial Day being used as a pro-war police state holiday to sell tyranny as if it's patriotism. But at least the warmongers know what it is and you know, think they're good people. There are a couple steps above folks that don't even know what Veterans Day or Memorial Day is. These are people that will watch the start of a new war like it's a... I've talked to liquor store owners. They say they sell more alcohol during a new war at the start of it than any other time. Same thing with pizza places. People go and they feel manly watching a bunch of people in you know, third world garb running from smart bombs. I mean, and you know, as long as a Peace Prize guy's doing it, it's beautiful. But I want to hear just a few minutes of this. The full clip is up on Infowars.com. It's on Mark's YouTube and Facebook. But I mean, this is 6 minutes long. And in the middle, it gets to people that go, I don't care about anybody but me. And they smile at him like that's their possession, like that's their armor. And you will have your bank account taken. You will be injected with cancer viruses. You will be destroyed, you maggot. And these are the people that will vote to take our guns. These are the people that will vote to take our money and give it to them. The globalists take 90%. They give 10% to the unwashed mass, who themselves are just as immoral. In fact, they're more immoral than the New World Order. Because the New World Order knows what they're doing is evil and disdains you and is killing you in plain view. And then you're loving it and wanting to rob virtuous people. You are the scum of the earth. Let's go to the club.
What is Memorial Day for?
What is Memorial Day for?
No, just you. What's Memorial Day for?
Wow. I never really thought about it.
This guy's just ignorant.
Memorial Day.
Memorial Day.
I don't know.
These people will not.
What is Memorial Day for?
Take a gold coin.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
In exchange for $1.
Be barbecuing and celebrating?
Yeah, with my buddies.
Oh, but you don't know what you're celebrating, though.
No. Oh, it's fun to be ignorant.
I don't even know.
Don't even know.
No. I don't know what Memorial Day is, man.
It's the big holiday. It's like the kickoff to summer when you barbecue and get drunk and stuff.
I don't think people from Chicago celebrate that thing, man.
They don't celebrate Memorial Day?
Nah, they're all ruthless, dude.
It's just Southern
Yeah, it's
California
ruthless to be an idiot.
Yeah, I think so.
Self-centered punk.
Definitely, man.
You know what I'm talking about, though, right?
No.
You don't know what Memorial Day is?
No, I'm pretty drunk.
The only way I know it's Memorial is because I don't have work, and that's all I care about, dude. So, yeah.
So you don't care about anything else,
No.
just not working on Memorial Day?
Exactly.
Nothing else matters, that the reason for the day?
No.
All the no.
No,
you don't even know what it means, do you?
I really don't care, yeah.
You don't care at all.
I'm gonna go over here, though.
Okay, zombie. Memorial Day weekend, the day when we kind of...
Oh, that's enough.
Have a birthday.
It goes on and on. I want to go to Mark Dyche, media analyst, author. Mark, I haven't talked to you since a few weeks ago, but I would guess it's like all your other videos. You really show what you found. You didn't go edit this, correct? Because you say that's your policy, or am I wrong? I mean, how shocking is this that they tell you, I am proud that I only care about myself? Don't they know that then no one's going to care about them? No one's going to come to their aid? There's no humanity, no camaraderie, no fealty, no kinship. These people are not alive, and the New World Order is already killing them, and no one's going to care about them as they're dying from the hydrofluorosilicic acid.
This video is 7 minutes long. It could have been 13 minutes long. I had to leave a lot of people out because it just gets redundant. Even at 7 minutes, it's too long. But what's even worse than them not knowing is them not caring. You could just see the absolute shameful selfishness that these just ignorant, Illuminati brainwashed buffoons have become victims of, essentially. And I'm glad that I got to work with your crew a few weeks ago. They came out to Oceanside. We shot a petition video, and I showed them, and I'm glad that they got to see it for their own eyes, that these videos can be shot in minutes. I mean, it takes me longer to find a parking spot and walk to the beach and get my camera set up than it does to actually shoot these videos. And I don't know if this is just Southern California. Maybe the zombie plague is sort of focused here, but I have a sneaking suspicion, just judging from the comments in the video and the feedback that I get, that these kinds of people are all over the country, if not the world.
Mark, what about the lady? I was telling the guys to cue up the part where the woman in pink is, you start saying, this is the Memorial Day for the surfers that have died. And the woman's like, oh, yes, I knew some of the surfers in Hawaii. And it's just so creepy.
To make the sport popular, are you doing anything special?
I insinuated different reasons for Memorial Day, that it was to celebrate the signing of the Declaration of Independence. And I'm just name-dropping people that have nothing to do with it. John Wilkes Booth, Jack Lemmon. I think I edited out the point when I mentioned Jesse Ventura being a founding father. And these it goes right over their heads. And some of the people in the feedback and in the emails, the tweets that I've gotten, think that I'm the ignorant one because they just didn't get it. And they thought that I believed that Memorial Day was to celebrate the surfers or was to celebrate the signing of the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah, they don't get satire. But expanding on this, whenever you're talking to these people, whenever you're sitting there, you say to the one arrogant punk, hey, zombie, what did he say when you said zombie to his face?
Well, you just walked away like a little coward. And this was the kid that just said, I just don't care what it's for. Nothing matters. I just got the day off, man. Let's just go and get drunk and party. And, you've seen some of these videos that I've done over the weeks. And each week I try to just push the envelope further and further and further. There's only one crazy idea that I had that people wouldn't go along with. And a couple people did. It just took too long. But these videos can be shot in 20 minutes, man. It's society has lost touch with reality so much. I don't know if you're aware that the Animal Planet aired a show over the weekend about mermaids, a science fiction, science fantasy mockumentary titled Mermaids, A Body Found. And people took to Twitter, countless people took to Twitter, and thought that a body of a mermaid was found. They just couldn't tell the fake, cheesy actors and reenactments on an Animal Planet show about mermaids. That's how out of touch. The reason for this is because people don't want to know. The brain will categorize and prioritize information. If you want to remember something, your brain will put a priority on that. You meet a beautiful girl. Hey, oh, that's Jennifer. I need to remember that. So your brain will remember. These people don't want to remember. It just information sits in their short-term memory and gets discarded. It's a culture of loving ignorance. These celebrity worshiping absolute scumbags that we see now parading, is a whole other issue, posing as Illuminati members themselves.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that coming up. We'll put this on screen for Infowars.com readers. We have your video posted. General public believes mermaid mockumentary was real. And here's my issue. I'm not going to join the globalists and try to nerve gas and bioweapon these zombies, because a lot of them are brain damaged from that. And they've been brought up by the television to be like this. But they do not have a right to take my guns and team up with the government to take my money so they can sit around on their fat butts. And that's the thing. These people are dangerous. I mean, how many questionnaires have you done where they say arrest gun owners, put us in FEMA camps?
All I needed to do, for much of the audience may be familiar, for those who aren't, I got people to sign a petition to repeal the Second Amendment, confiscate all guns door to door using the military, since we have lists of all the registered weapons. All I needed to do was mention the key words. Will you support Obama and sign our petition?
That's why you said, we want a Nazi takeover of America, fascism for Obama. And what did they say?
Sounded good. It just goes right over their head. Anything to support Obama.
And then the guy goes, you go, yeah, we want the Nazis to take over and confiscate the guns. And the guy goes, you don't have to tell me, buddy. I understand. I mean, you could say, we're going to put babies in wood chippers for Obama. They'd say, sure. I mean, Mark Dice is our guest. And we've gone out in Austin, and they're almost as bad if you go to the trendy liberal areas. These are not liberals. These are people begging for the New World Order to kill them.
There's been a disaster, and most of you don't even realize the serious concern for all of us. Alex Jones has warned you for years to get the most important supply you can for your liberty, freedom, and security, and that's food. We thought the danger was drought, or food diverted to our gas tanks, or food so expensive that we'd all need financial assistance to afford it, or our food being sold to other countries. But here's the most effective way you'll lose your liberty and security without a fight: government regulation. The do-it-yourself public services of many LDS Mormon food storage canneries can no longer be provided. This, along with the recent private gardening and farming regulations and additional government control of food supplies and resources, says food is the ultimate priority. eFoods Direct will provide free shipping on all food orders until further notice. Call 800-409-5633 or on the web efoodsdirect.com/Alex.
Now is the perfect time to spring clean your body with Supernatural Silver, a non-toxic disinfectant for the body that can be used internally or externally. It helps the immune system by killing the bacteria, viruses, and mold that cause disease. This helps to reduce the workload of your already overworked immune system and allows the immune system to refocus its energy and recharge. Supernatural Silver can help combat over 300 different conditions, and it has the ability to kill over 143 types of bacteria, viruses, mold, and yeast. Supernatural Silver's patented technology includes advanced scientific research with over 180 scientific studies conducted at independent universities, hospitals, research institutions, and nursing homes to see how Supernatural Silver can change your life. Go to supernaturalsilver.com. Use the promo code SILVER2013 for 20% off and like us on Facebook.
Wouldn't it be nice to have one product that replaces more than 10, saving you space, time, and money? HempUSA.org has a complete full-spectrum vitamin mineral detox formulation called Micro Plant Powder Gold. Micro Plant Powder Gold contains 101 vitamins, minerals, probiotics, and iodine. Has a 100-year shelf life and is a perfect addition to any storage shelter. Make Micro Plant Powder Gold your choice. Call 888-910-4367 or visit HempUSA.org today.
We the people grow cotton, weave fabric, engrave ink, embed strips and fibers to protect from counterfeit, then carting to a private bank, having it lent back at interest, forcing taxes to service debt. This capitalism, or was Jefferson correct when stating a central bank issuing the public currency is a greater menace to the liberties of the people than a standing army? Hi, Ted Anderson. I'm placing a silver dollar in a book explains our monetary system. Call for your copy, 800-686-2237. It's time to understand the system. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
Children's Network launches transsexual superhero show. That's Breitbart. We have that article linked up on Infowars.com. Nothing says child-appropriate material quite like gender-bending underage superheroes. At least that's the theory over at the LA Times. The network, co-owned by Discovery and Hasbro, is trotting out a show targeting preteens, teaching them how to be transsexuals. Folks, that's called pedophilia. They always try to make it like, oh, you're a square, you're anti-gay, or anti... You know what? Give me a break. That stuff's been going on since the beginning of history. I don't even get into it. Keep your hands away from the kids. Whether you're a heterosexual, a homosexual, a transgender, or whatever it is. Okay? Okay? But that's the thing with these degenerate globalists. It's always about what can they get away with. That's like Jocelyn Elders. We've got to reach down and teach the kindergartner how to masturbate. Help them masturbate. I mean, I can play these clips for you. These are fruitcakes, man. Kids are supposed to be chasing butterflies around outside. They're supposed to be puppy dogs. They're supposed to be painting. They're supposed to be fishing. Not worried about sex till they hit puberty. And then they're taught the mechanics of it, and you can catch diseases, and you want to marry somebody who's nice and who's successful. Not, hey, you're 5 years old. I'm a big fat weirdo lady in a nurse's outfit. I'm here to teach you how to masturbate. This planet is run by crazy people. Meanwhile, it came out in the Seattle Post-Intelligencer. I'm going to keep Mark Dice a little bit in the next hour, and then we're getting Luke Rudkowski on. They are now teaching all that stuff in the schools, and the FBI is running child porn sites to then catch all the idiots that go to it when they know the UN and DynCorp and all these big corporations have been caught running kidnapped actual kids. Look it up. Chicago Tribune, you name it. I mean, this is incredible. It's like they create Al-Qaeda and then take our liberties because of it. Meanwhile, they've got pedophilia on TV. That's what that is. That's pervs trying to mess with your kid's head. Let's go to Mark Dice. Mark, we're going to break here in a minute. Hope you can stay with us a few more minutes. But you were talking about this, and I have this clip ready in a minute of the lady saying, oh, yeah, Memorial Day for the surfers that died. What is wrong with these people? I mean, do you get my point of disdaining them?
You can see the almost hatred in my face. People ask how I can keep a straight face, and it's because I don't really think it's funny. I really am looking at them with just utter disgust. And I think it's pretty clear in my videos. Sometimes I'll just start laughing in their face. I haven't included a lot of those. But these people, I insinuate that it's to celebrate and memorialize the fallen surfing legends who have popularized the sport, and a light bulb just doesn't go off in their head, in most of them. I mean, I am just demonstrating what corrupt politicians can do by pretending to know what they're talking about and manipulating people. And through just the power of suggestion, I get them to sign, because some of them may start thinking about it and may have a light bulb go off in their head when I'm getting people to sign these crazy petitions on the Man on the Street Monday videos. But I simply just keep pointing to this area where the signature is, and I just keep repeating them comically. Just sign here, please. Just put your name there, please.
And then you say more obnoxious stuff like, to help Obama, we're going to have Nazi rule and arrest the Tea Partiers. Like, oh, really? Nazi rule for Obama? Yeah.
As they're signing it, I'm just, to make the point clear, to show that this is just going right over their head. You can see in the videos, I just keep repeating myself. Just print your name here.
We're going to play another clip of that. We're back in 1 minute. Stay there, Mark. Mark Dice at markdice.com. I'm Alex Jones of Infowars.com. Don't forget, Infowars Nightly News, weeknights, 7 o'clock Central, prisonplanet.tv.
You are listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
You prepare by purchasing gold, food, and firearms. But if you don't have a home security system, then you're missing a critical weapon in your arsenal for home protection. When you're sleeping or away from home, who's watching out for intruders? Check out Simply Safe. It's a new do-it-yourself home security system that is completely wireless. Go to GetSimplySafe.com. Simply Safe is independent and off the grid. It runs on battery power, so even if the grid goes down, you're protected. It's completely customizable, so you can use it in your home, business, boat, trailer, storage unit, or shed. GetSimplySafe.com. Simply Safe is also ridiculously easy to install yourself in under 20 minutes, so there's no need to let a stranger into your home. If you move or need to relocate, you can take the system with you wherever you go. You aren't always at home, but Simply Safe will stand guard, protecting your property 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Again, that's GetSimplySafe.com.
Waging war on corruption. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
Mark Dice is our guest. I'm Alex Jones, your host. What we're illustrating here is just how, well, the IQs have dropped about 20%. Look up those numbers from just the hydrofluorosilicic acid. But here is the LA Times. I've got it punched up on my other computer over here for TV viewers. Gun crime has plunged, but Americans think it's up, study says. And that's what the establishment does. 69% drop in wounding shootings, 49% drop in overall violent crime, aggravated crime, 39% drop in fatality shootings since 1992, Justice Department numbers. We told you this before the Justice Department did a report a few months later. But it doesn't matter because gun owners are responsible for Sandy Hook because mainstream media said so. But what's going to happen, Mark Dice, media analyst, in your view, as a larger minority becomes close to a majority who's aware versus the zombies that the Pentagon even trains against the public, scripting us as zombies, as they just want their handouts, they really are the enemy because they're going to be used by the offshore globalists to overrun us, and they would literally kill us if it meant they got some time off.
I do see some positive news here. More and more people are waking up, and we have Bono and Richard Branson dropping the Illuminati, name dropping the Illuminati in Matt Damon's campaign for a water filtration program in third world countries. And the video on YouTube has probably a 60 or 70% thumbs down rate. Most of the comments are people slamming the Illuminati. You have these singing serpents, these just satanic trash like Kesha, one of the most popular singing pop stars today, who puts out a video with just clear satanic Illuminati symbolism. And while a lot of her fans love her and literally worship this just Baphomet bimbo.
Targeting 9-year-old girls, and people put her in front of it.
This girl puts satanic pentagrams on her Facebook page. She drinks allegedly pee on her show on MTV. Her music videos have her just having orgies in churches with Illuminati all-seeing eyes.
And she wears little kids' teeth around her neck.
Yes, she asked her fans, many of which are preteens, to mail in their baby teeth to her, and over 1,000 people sent her their teeth. She had it sewn into a bra and a headdress, and she says that it's one of her most prized possessions.
Yeah, I was reading about this top abortion doctor that testified before Congress that he had an epiphany when his teenage daughter died in a car wreck, that killing all the kids had come back on him. And I hope Kesha and all these people know they're going to have cursed lives. You don't do this type of stuff to kids on purpose and not get absolutely torn into 1,000 pieces by God.
Yeah, we may not be able to see the effects of their selling their soul, but I have a hard time believing that these people even could sleep at night, and you could see the pain and the torment in their face. And there's still time for them to turn back and repent.
No, Lady Gaga, it's leaked, is quote, attacked by ghosts and demons and has to have people sleep in the room with her.
Kesha has drank fake blood out of a fake animal heart on stage. Like I said on her MTV show, she drank what appeared to be urine, because you are what you eat, Kesha. So I mean, you are urine. I mean, the mainstream media, mainstream music, it is a urine stream. So I mean, it's very fitting, very symbolic. But Aleister Crowley, as you know, the infamous Satanist, the wickedest man alive, he wrote instructions in his book, Magic and Theory and Practice, which I bought to verify these claims. He wrote in there that if you murder children, you get satanic power. And then we have Jay-Z, one of the most popular, most wealthy rappers of the day, friends with Obama, campaigning for Obama, appearing in Obama campaign ads and on stage as a hype man for Obama during the campaign, just wearing an Aleister Crowley sweatshirt. Oh yeah, do what thou wilt. And that's not a photoshopped image, as you know. That's a still image from a behind-the-scenes making of the video with Rihanna.
Hey, stay there. I want to talk more about this with Luke Rudkowski.
There's been a disaster, and most of you don't even realize the serious concern for all of us. Alex Jones has warned you for years to get the most important supply you can for your liberty, freedom, and security, and that's food. We thought the danger was drought, or food diverted to our gas tanks, or food so expensive that we'd all need financial assistance to afford it, or our food being sold to other countries. But here's the most effective way you'll lose your liberty and security without a fight: government regulation. The do-it-yourself public services of many LDS Mormon food storage canneries can no longer be provided. This, along with the recent private gardening and farming regulations and additional government control of food supplies and resources, says food is the ultimate priority. eFoods Direct will provide free shipping on all food orders until further notice. Call 800-409-5633 or on the web efoodsdirect.com/Alex.
Now that we have moved into the winter season, there is an increased need to support our immunity and health. At Silver Lungs, we are committed to meeting your needs by providing a full selection of silver-based products. Our most popular silver-based products are the 32-ounce Nano Silver Solutions, our 2-ounce Nano Silver Nasal Applicators, as well as our all-natural silver soaps. Just released is our 100% natural silver gel. Our new silver gel is not based on synthetic gelling agents, which quickly evaporate and leave the silver at the surface. But rather, we have formulated our silver gel using the natural skin-nourishing chemistry of aloe vera to quickly penetrate and nourish the skin, while delivering the silver more effectively. Visit www.silverlungs.com and click on our store page to find what silver-based products are best for you. That's www.silverlungs.com.
Introducing Pro One. All of your filtration in one system, portable, on the go. No more do you have 2 or 3 filters to just reduce sodium fluoride. You have a system that cuts out the sodium fluoride and up to 95% of hydrofluorosilicic acid. Advanced manufacturing technology combines silver-impregnated white ceramic with new Aquamedics advanced media for removal of fluoride and other heavy metals, all in one filter element. It is the only one that does it, and out of the gate, we have it discounted at 10% off with promo code WATER. This is the only system that in one unit helps reduce or remove pesticides, herbicides, chloramines, ammonia, and chlorine, hydrofluorosilicic acid, the most common form of fluoride not covered by other fluoride filter brands, and sodium hexafluorosilicate. Get your Pro Pure with the new Pro One filters today at InfoWarsStore.com or by calling 888-253-3139.
He aligns himself with the truth, and it's time for you to choose a side. You're listening to Alex Jones.
My love is in league with the freeway. Its fashion will ride as the cities fly by.
It's really that simple. What is the truth? Seeking of the truth is really paramount. And we have a bunch of pro-death sadists and psychopaths running the New World Order. They're selling anti-family, anti-male, anti-woman, anti-child, self-mutilation and destruction, so the society will become infected with a death lust so that they will roll over and die so the globalists can inherit the earth. But the globalists won't inherit the earth. They're not going to stop this instinct towards death and destruction once they have control. As the government arms to the teeth but wants our guns. Media analyst Mark Dice is with us. I want to play one more clip from the reason I got him on out there in Oceanside, California, talking to people saying, do you know what Memorial Day is? And they said, no. All of them, but one guy. Well, do you know what it stands for? It stands for Surfer Day. The surfers we've lost. Oh, I love surfers. And then they could quote surfers' names. Just totally mindless, like the world is just something they're in and they're spectators. This is a recipe for enslavement. When you have a people that act like lobotomized sheep, you will be overrun by wolves. Let's go to that clip.
Memorial Day weekend, the weekend when we look back on the fallen surfing legends, those who have drowned and died to make the sport popular. Are you doing anything special to commemorate the loss of the surfing legends?
Not me personally, but I have family who live in Hawaii who knew some of those legends. Eddie Aikau. I believe there was another legendary surfer that died at Mavericks that my brother-in-law knows. And they have a memorial there.
Are you going to be saying a prayer for them on Memorial Day to kind of commemorate their loss and the popularization of the sport?
I think that's a great idea. I think we all should.
Are you going to be doing anything to kind of commemorate the fallen surfing legends and those who have popularized the surfing sport for Memorial Day?
No, not really, man.
You're not a big surfer, or?
Not really. I just usually kick it, you know?
What is the point of Memorial Day, though? It's to...
I don't really know, man. I mean, I really don't care. Like, I mean, for me, it's just another bogus holiday.
Just another bogus holiday.
All right, there you go.
What's the purpose of Memorial?
It goes on and on with all these hipster wannabe trendies. And again, when these guys waive their rights to the police and the courts, it sets a precedent. These people will vote to take all your guns. They will vote to take every dime you've got, and they are taking over the country. Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, all that same satisfied demonic smile of I'm just kicking it, I'm ruthless, I don't care about nobody but me. Well, you know what? Nobody cares about you either, scum. And that's what I told Piers Morgan. I said, just because you got a bunch of lemmings out there that want to be slaves, buddy, doesn't mean that gives you a right to make me a slave. You got that, Jack. I see you. I know what you are, and I'm done. I want to go to Luke Rudkowski here. These two are mutual friends who confronted Kissinger devastatingly and told him you're a mass murderer. We're going to cue that up. And Kissinger's like, get lost, kid. I rule everything with this fake German accent or whatever. But media analyst Mark Dice, you were also, before he came back, you were getting into the devil worship they're selling. And this isn't like people in the 80s trying to, sell rock albums, I mean, this is like really real satanic rituals in all these shows. Jay-Z, Aleister Crowley shirts, songs about killing children. And you have to understand, folks, the big globalist, they've been caught over and over again. They are involved in this. And the government will cover it up when your kids get disappeared. It won't be on the news when your kid gets disappeared. It'll only be if it's a real kidnapping by a low-level nobody. Then they'll be on the news trying to save your kid. Go ahead.
Yeah, and a final point about the Memorial Day videos. It's not just to show these people to make fun of them. It's to show how far down the toilet society has gone, but also to sort of send up a warning flag so that hopefully the people who are posting these videos on their Facebook pages and sharing them, much of their friends, I'm sure, are people just like the ones in the videos. So hopefully that will show a reflection back on them so that they can sort of reassess their own priorities. But this culture, this Illuminati wannabe, satanic, devil-worshipping pop star fad has gotten so out of control. We have supposedly family-friendly pop stars and these family-friendly shows like the Today Show, Good Morning America, promoting these pop stars who are then covertly and in many cases overtly promoting literal Satanism and making people think that the Illuminati is cool or to muddy the water and make the mainstream mentally enslaved music watching and listening morons believe that the Illuminati's not a group of international billionaire banksters, the Federal Reserve fraudsters, but it's just a group of famous musicians. I mean, we have a case of a kid in Virginia who tried to kill his friend. He shot him, thinking that was an Illuminati sacrifice. This is what he told the police, that it was his sacrifice to the Illuminati. This is a kid who's like 26 years old.
They have murders all the time that are satanic, and they tell the police, leave that out of the report. I mean, the Night Stalker, most of these Son of Sam, they're all devil worshippers.
Yeah, it's the only explanation that is plausible. And we
Harris, Klebold, the reported Patsy shooter at Sandy Hook, all devil worshippers.
There was a 10-year-old, a 10 or 11-year-old, a fifth grader in Sacramento just a few weeks ago that stood up in the middle of class and told the teacher that she's in the Illuminati and she's going to sacrifice her fellow students and kill them for Satan. And I would be willing to bet she's a Kesha fan. I would be willing to bet that this is one of the kids that sent Kesha her teeth, that's watching Kesha literally on the Today Show.
And the bigger issue is parents are turning their children over to him. I'm sorry, finish your point, and then we're going to jump to Luke Rudkowski.
Yeah, the parents are the ones paying for the tickets to the concert and driving them there. And final point, this is a girl, when she's on the Today Show performing, wears an upside-down crucifix on her leotard. Not her typical, usual Illuminati symbolism, because it'd be a little too blatant on the Today Show, a supposed, family-friendly show. But there she is. I did a whole video about this, wearing an upside-down crucifix on her leotard, a symbol, a satanic symbol, sort of reversing everything that is Christian or that is good, perverting everything, as is their agenda.
Well, I tell you, people that get decadent always beg to be destroyed, and all these people begging for it, you're already being destroyed by the fluoride, the GMO, all of it. But those of us that don't want to be part of your evil, we're not on some high horse either, In fact, a lot of us actually have seen the real dark side light years ahead of where you evil people think you've gone, and we know it's not a place we want to go. It's just a bunch of brain-dead morons who think they're getting power from darkness, and all they're going to get is destroyed. Mark, before I shift gears into Henry Kissinger and Luke Rudkowski's confrontation with him, can you do an Alex Jones stuttering imitation for us?
We're going to go to Luke Rudkowski here, but I'm going to cover the news. I'm going to get to your phone calls here in just a second. But they're going to kill you and your family.
They've only been holding, let me see, Chris has only been holding an hour and 43 minutes. You can hold some more.
Yeah, I know some of the audience may know that I've done some pretty brutal satire and criticism of you. So
that's why I'm having you on. I enjoy it.
Well, I appreciate, it really says a lot about your character, the ability that you could turn the other cheek. We could still have me on. And I appreciate that you'd see the value in my work. And
I do see the value, but you don't understand. It's very sick, but I don't like listening to my own show, and I like myself, but also dislike myself. So you do a good imitation, Mark. I mean, I could start paying you to attack me. How's that sound?
There are the conspiracy theorists out there that believe that my criticism of you was just a planned WWF promotion to build up. Some of these people see a conspiracy around every corner. It's entertaining, but it is sad at the same time.
No, there's big general conspiracies against the dumbed-down mass. There's not a lot of little subterfuges out there behind the scenes. But I want to bring Luke Rudkowski up here. Let's play this clip of him, just a short clip. We already played it last hour, the whole thing, confronting Herr Kissinger when he was getting this Freedom Award. Here it is.
Hi, Mr. Kissinger. It's a pleasure. How you doing? I just wanted to know, what do you mean when you said illegal we do immediately, unconstitutional takes a little longer, the WikiLeaks document? What do you mean by that?
Come on.
No. I mean, it came out, WikiLeaks.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff on it in it.
Do you know the agenda of the Bilderberg?
What? What are you doing this for?
I'm here covering this event. Just wanted to talk to you. We are change, and we want to know maybe what the agenda of the Bilderberg group meeting is going to be in a couple days. Do you know?
Get lost, please.
How does it feel winning the? How does it feel winning the Freedom Award when you're wanted as a mass murderer and wanted in many countries and butchered millions of people? How does it feel? You know it's a lie.
You self-serving coward, get lost.
I'm not a coward. You know this freedom award's a lie, and you're wanted for mass murder in different countries. You know it's a lie.
Good job, Luke. That's wearechange.org, and he's with us right now, joining us from Washington, D.C. Luke, I mean, you know what Henry Kissinger's grave and his coffin are called. They're called a latrine. And I love how he calls you a coward when he's a coward. He calls you self-serving when he's self-serving. This is a known criminal dirtbag that said cut food off the third world to starve and cause wars. This is a war criminal. Luke Rudkowski, we salute you for what you've done.
Yeah, it seems like he's bringing out his qualities onto me. The other time I confronted him, he called me a sick person and that I should go to hell, which is pretty interesting coming from that perspective. But Kissinger, I think he already knows who I am. We got him a third time. We actually made a video detailing every step of the way of how we're actually able to do this on our YouTube channel. You just go to youtube.com/wearechange, and you can see the behind-the-scenes shenanigans that go on with these people like David Petraeus, David Koch, and Henry Kissinger making up fake awards so they could kiss each other and pat each other on the back and promote themselves and empower themselves. It was pretty much a sideshow. It's a fake award that they're giving to each other. It just shows how delusional these people are. And the award was called the Intrepid Freedom Award. And it was given to Henry Kissinger for so-called promoting democracy. I mean, it just doesn't get any more Orwellian than it is.
No, but that's like Obama being given a Peace Prize. All it did was totally discredit the Peace Prize.
Yeah, but this is not even like the Peace Prize. This is like a made-up award that they just made up.
Yeah.
And we were able to go in there. The press relations people were extremely stringent. They told us they were always with us. They were always watching us. They told us no interviews. You can't ask any questions. You're just here to take pictures and videos. And that's sad because that just shows you what journalism has become. There were other journalists there.
It's not journalism. You repeat what comes out of Henry Kissinger's proboscis.
Yeah, mainstream media has become public relations for the establishment, for the elite. They're not there asking hard, legitimate questions. They're not even trying to find a way to actually go around the different rules and security that they set up. They're just complying, which is sad to see. And what we're trying to change here at We Are Change is the whole perspective of how we should act. We should act like we are the mainstream media.
Yeah, people shouldn't act sycophantic towards these war criminals. Let's get Mark Dice's take on this. Mark, I admire the work you do with Man on the Street. And I also admire, the work Luke's doing confronting these people. That's something I've been doing for 18 years. And I'm working on getting my reporters to go out and do, because it just really shows what real questions do. And, I mean, Kissinger really sounded pathetic there. What'd you think of that?
Luke is a master. I mean, Luke has tracked these criminals down and asked the real questions that no journalist will dare ask because they don't want to lose access to these figures. They don't want to get shamed and demoted by their Operation Mockingbird editors. And just a testament of the quality and the effectiveness of Luke's work is the fact that when Rand Paul was giving his historic, 13-hour filibuster about the drone strikes, he referenced one of Luke's videos, didn't give Luke credit, but he mentioned a soundbite, an answer that Luke got from Robert Gibbs, Obama's former press secretary, about how people should just be a better father if they're going to be, have their children killed by drone strikes. And I predict, I hope that someday Luke will get an award for his journalism from once we can shift the culture. Luke has done such good work. He's somebody who deserves, these prestigious awards, not some war criminal Henry Kissinger given this Orwellian award for something completely counter to everything that he stands for.
Absolutely. Well said. And again, holding up activists that go out and do things. We are the future. And citizen journalism is what scares them. And people out there listening will call me up and go, is it all right if I reference one of your articles in my book? And I'm like, number one, that's just referencing. You have a right to do that. And like, or Alex, I want you to help me plan going to city council and asking questions. Just do it. It's like the Nike slogan. just stop using Chinese sweatshop labor, Foxconn. But, to be serious, we've got to simply take action. Luke, what else do we not see that's going on behind the scenes? What was it like being close to Henry Kissinger? Because I've heard of smell-o-vision, but I almost like smelled the smell of like a dead animal when looking at Kissinger up close, and he looked also like he was like a meatloaf that had been left outside for a week. I mean, he reeked of failure and of like the maw of hell's tongue lapping out to embrace him in the ninth circle of Dante's Inferno.
Someone said on YouTube that he looks like Mr. Potato Head, and I do have to say there is a very good comparison if you put up the two pictures next to each other.
It's super Mr. Mass Murdered. I'm sorry.
It was definitely surreal because everybody was just kissing up to him. Everybody was just saying how great of a person he was. When I walked up to him, everybody was afraid even to come up and talk to him. He had food all over his shirt. He couldn't even eat right, which is pretty telling. But what was really
he's a degenerate slob, literally going to hell. Sorry.
Yeah, what was really interesting is the amount of control the press relations people really had. It was just sickening being there.
But at the end of the day, they didn't have control because you just ran their blockade and got the question in.
Exactly, and if there's a will, there's a way, and that's what I want to tell people out there. Don't ask for permission. Just go out there, go do it. What I'm working on right now is talking to certain individuals, and I'm trying to teach them every aspect of journalism, every aspect of covering these events, and I'm trying to prop up as many individual people as I can. And if people want to get involved, I'm also going to be traveling through Europe. If we could build up some journalists there, that would be amazing. But people could hit me up on my Twitter, just Luke at We Are Change on Twitter, and then I want to get in contact with as many individuals as I can, so I could actually sit down one-on-one with them, teach them how to be the change that they want to see in this world, teach them how to do real journalism, and prop them up and push them up. And hopefully there won't be just 2 or 3 people asking hard questions. There'll be, we'll be able to totally take over the mainstream media.
Everywhere these globalists go, we've got to be there confronting them. And as the mainstream media rots away and turns into bones like the dinosaurs, we are rising. And that's why we're at this critical historical juncture, because there is a big dumbed-down mass that's getting more divorced from reality, but there's also a mass getting more informed every day. Take the IRS scandal, all these other scandals. Our credibility is just shooting straight up right now. Luke, are you seeing the awakening I'm seeing?
I definitely am, and the potential of anything that could happen is right within our grasp. It's right within our hands. It's just up to all of us to not be afraid to be who we really are, to speak our mind, to stand up and to take action. And if we all do that all at once, there's nothing that could stop it. We are already shaming the media. We are already becoming the new mainstream media, but we have to keep it up. We have to do more. We have to have other individuals to step up.
And by the way, people always think tyrannies are invincible until they finally fall. It's not the end of the world. This new world order is not destined to take over. It can be blocked. It can be postponed. It can be defeated, like Nineveh in its 100-year reprieve. We have a job to do this. Any other comments you'd like to make in closing, Mark Dice?
I just have the utmost respect for Luke, and anybody that's not familiar with his work, I think you should go and check it out. And he is essentially a one-man TMZ, but for important issues. Instead of asking, celebrities and politicians what they had for lunch or about somebody's new purse, he's out there asking the questions that we all are thinking our own, would wish that the reporters would ask. And since he has no strings attached, he's able to do it. So, Luke, my hat's off to you.
Absolutely, great job. And again, everybody needs to continue along these lines doing this. Luke and Mark Dice, we will both talk to you soon. And Luke, I'm going to be seeing you at Bilderberg 2013 there in Watford.
I definitely will be there, and we're going to be all over Europe. So definitely check out all of our updates. We're going to be doing a lot of work.
All right, great job. Yeah. Great job, Luke. Great job, Mark Dice. Mark, one more time, can I get an Alex Jones hateful imitation?
I'm going to go to your calls here in just a minute. But, I just got so much news here. I just hate these scum. They're scum. They're scum. 1776 will commence again if you try to take our firearms.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah. All right, Mark. Thank you, Mark. Any other ones? You can do better
man,
than I do.
I go hoarse every time I do them, Alex. I don't know how you even have a voice left from all the yelling and screaming that you've done, but I understand. I know where it comes from, and man, I'm just I wouldn't want to be in your warpath, bro.
No, you have done well, Lord Vader. All right,
I appreciate that.
Thank you very much, Mark. Keep going out there and waking. Thank you. Go wake the zombies up. Speaking of that, I got Adam Kokesh coming on, but I'm going to go to Chris and others first real quick before we do that. What happens is I open the phones up, take some calls, and get guests on and run out of time. I mean, most shows just hang up on the callers. Maybe I should be bad to hang up on them. No, they're nice. They know what's going on. But those are good quotes. All right, we'll be right back. A little bit of self-deprecating humor. I actually like that better than people going, Alex, you're so great. Alex, you're so wonderful. Just because I think you're great. I think you're wonderful, the listeners of this show. I feel like I'm not doing a good enough job. That makes me feel guilty, when a whole family comes up on the street to tell me how great I am.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
With health threats on the rise, such as West Nile virus, MRSA, CRE, and now the new bird flu recently discovered in China, there has never been a more crucial time to support your immune system. Supernatural Silver is a revolutionary new silver solution that is clinically shown to be several hundred times more effective than colloidal or ionic silver, and is powerful enough to help protect you and your family. Supernatural Silver is scientifically supported, highly effective, and perfect for everyday use inside the body as well as out. The Science Digest Journal says silver is our mightiest germ fighter. It is virtually non-toxic and is emerging as a wonder of modern medicine. Supernatural Silver is the #1 choice of thousands for improved health and immune system support. To find out how Supernatural Silver can change your life, go to supernaturalsilver.com and use the promo code SPRING2013 for 20% off, and like us on Facebook.
There's been a disaster, and most of you don't even realize the serious concern for all of us. Alex Jones has warned you for years to get the most important supply you can for your liberty, freedom, and security, and that's food. We thought the danger was drought, or food diverted to our gas tanks, or food so expensive that we'd all need financial assistance to afford it, or our food being sold to other countries. But here's the most effective way you'll lose your liberty and security without a fight: government regulation. The do-it-yourself public services of many LDS Mormon food storage canneries can no longer be provided. This, along with the recent private gardening and farming regulations and additional government control of food supplies and resources, says food is the ultimate priority. eFoods Direct will provide free shipping on all food orders until further notice. Call 800-409-5633 or on the web efoodsdirect.com/Alex.
You prepare by purchasing gold, food, and firearms. But if you don't have a home security system, then you're missing a critical weapon in your arsenal for home protection. When you're sleeping or away from home, who's watching out for intruders? Check out Simply Safe. It's a new do-it-yourself home security system that is completely wireless. Go to GetSimplySafe.com. Simply Safe is independent and off the grid. It runs on battery power, so even if the grid goes down, you're protected. It's completely customizable, so you can use it in your home, business, boat, trailer, storage unit, or shed. GetSimplySafe.com. Simply Safe is also ridiculously easy to install yourself in under 20 minutes, so there's no need to let a stranger into your home. If you move or need to relocate, you can take the system with you wherever you go. You aren't always at home, but Simply Safe will stand guard, protecting your property 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Again, that's GetSimplySafe.com.
In this present crisis, government is not the solution to our problem. Government is the problem. From time to time, we've been tempted to believe that society has become too complex to be managed by self-rule, that government by an elite group is superior to government for, by, and of the people.
If you've been successful, you didn't get there on your own. If you got a business, that you didn't build that. Somebody else made that happen. You've grown up hearing voices that incessantly warn of government as nothing more than some separate, sinister entity that's at the root of all our problems. They'll warn that tyranny is always lurking just around the corner. You should reject these voices. We cannot continue to rely only on our military in order to achieve the national security objectives that we've set.
Oh, it doesn't sound like tyranny to me.
We've got to have a civilian national security force that's just as powerful, just as strong, just as well funded.
Hammer of justice crushes you.
Alex Jones
overpowers.
Because there is a war on for your mind.
That's right. The only man that can interrupt his own liner. By the way, we're getting Adam Kokesh from his command center on the line right now. He'll be with us in a few minutes. And again, I support his right to the armed march. I think he's a good guy. He's going to tell us what happened to him in prison. I just have a bad feeling about an armed march on D.C. I told him I think they'll put him in jail. Clearly, they tried to set him up. We're going to talk to him. We're getting him online right now. But you heard Mark Dice just making jokes about me making callers hold. So let's make him a liar and go to Chris in Maryland real quick and a few others. Chris, you've been holding for about 2 hours. I appreciate it. I don't usually do that, except every day. You're on the air. What did you call in about today, sir?
I called in about John McCain, but I want to do a quick shout-out to Luke Rudkowski. He's the bomb. Mark Dice, I'm not really sure what he's doing. He's asking questions about Memorial Day. My question is this. I've been listening to you forever. Actually, I saw you at Chantilly when you were winded from shouting your head off over the gate. You actually had to lay down on your back, and I told you I was watching, what was the name of that movie? Oh, Red Dawn with my son, talking about re-education camps. Anyway, my question is this. You talk about John McCain kind of scooting into Syria via Turkey, talking with real Al-Qaeda. Okay, you need to break this down because we know there's kind of the fake Al-Qaeda. I mean, they've already sort of admitted, Al-Qaeda is this whole U.S. created entity. Is there a difference between the two, or are we just kind of blurring everything together?
No, I mean, I hear you. We need to differentiate. The point is, it was created by the globalists. They've been radicalizing Muslims since the British took over and created what is Saudi Arabia today. And then they use the fake Al-Qaeda, double, triple agent people to carry out attacks and things, or to take the blame for attacks that Western governments or contractors stage. And then you've got real Al-Qaeda out of Qatar and out of mainly Saudi Arabia, Wahhabists, funded by the royal house, who are literally slaughtering Christians and others. And then I've got to be lectured all day about, well, we've got to take your rights post 9/11, when I knew then they were running the Al-Qaeda people, just like they are now. And it's what's crazy is they do it out in the open now. I mean, what do you think's happening there?
Well, here's the problem. I don't even know, because what the problem is when I listen to your show for 2 or 3 years, and I'm a big supporter, so don't think I'm some sort of anti-anything. But what I've noticed over the years when I listen to your show, it's almost like, it's an addiction. You gotta hear what's going on. You gotta check out. By the way, I want you to mention other sources of information that you rely on or you recommend, because all of us want to sort of like double check, although you do always. All right,
well, I'll tell you what I rely on. I mean, I should do more basic videos about how I believe the world operates and cover big subjects. But if you want to know what I rely on, I know the globalist agenda. I've read their own books, their own publications. It's a 100-plus-year-old plan. So I know their program. I know their playbook. So I just look at news and then double-check what they're claiming through a lens of, it's like I'm a detective that's been following a serial killer for 20 years. I know their MO. And I know if it's a copycat that isn't actually that killer. So, I mean, it's more of an art form, understanding all of this and knowing their agenda and knowing over time who you can trust, who you can't trust. I mean, I see good stuff in New Yorker magazine, run by horrible globalists. I see good stuff in the LA Times, run by horrible New World Order people. But then there's like big stories they put out that are propaganda that are then parroted. Most news is actually somewhat accurate. It's the The stuff that's the lie is the big story, the big agenda they're pushing. Iraq has WMDs, Assad is a war criminal, stuff like that. Alex Jones thinks Obama sent the tornado. I didn't say that. A caller said, I think it's weather modification. I said, it's probably not, but there is weather modification going on, so we don't know. So they edited that, and then see, that was a lie. And that's real desperation. So it's a very sophisticated point, and I appreciate your call. We'll get to more calls in overdrive if I have to. I'm going to go to Jonathan, who's been holding, and David, and First Sergeant, and Montine. We'll get to all of you. But I don't want to... we just got him on the line. He's fresh out of jail last Friday, and then rested up after spending 6 days or so, going directly to the federal prison. You've already seen the footage if you're a radio listener. He didn't resist anybody. All the camera angles came out. They were forced to drop the assault charges and the failure to follow God's orders, federal officers' orders. They had weird local Philadelphia police with fascist armbands who we've learned are federal, local Renfield servants of Dracula, servants of the feds. So now we'll learn what happened inside the federal facility, and then we'll get updates on, he wants a march on all 50 states. Adam Kokesh joins us. Adam, thanks for coming on.
Hey, my pleasure, Alex. Thanks for having me on again.
Before we get into the latest on the marches and things, what happened inside there? How did you play chicken with them and win?
Well, I played hardball. I refused to cooperate every step along the way, and thanks to everybody on the outside who was making so much noise and realized that this was a frame-up, decided to really put the pressure on them. And even that Sunday when I was there in federal lockup, there were people getting the prisoners riled up. I didn't find out about it till later, but I also want to give a shout out to George Donnelly of Shield Mutual, who provides insurance for situations like this and did an incredible job stepping up. Jim Babb, another activist in Philly who did a great job organizing events there. Nathan Cox, Meg McLean, Michael Salvi, Anthony Antonello, and my public defender, Jim McHugh, who really stepped up when executing this strategy, who understood what it was and took my advice to have fun with this. But if it wasn't for all of that increased the cost of what it was for them to keep me in prison, I was still able to communicate. I announced 2 events while I was in prison with the help of N.A. Poe, who I was locked up with. We radically increased the cost of them holding me. And so in the end, yeah, they blinked because I was saying, I'm not going to accept the conditions of bail. I'm not going to take a plea. I'm not going to accept this felony charge. There's only one way that this is going down. Either you're going to drop and dismiss all charges, or I'm going to be found not guilty by a jury of my peers. And if I have to do 100 days in solitary confinement, which was essentially what I was volunteering for because I had refused to take a PPD shot and submit to a DNA test, I told them, my DNA is just fine and does not need to be tested, and it's against my religion to let government agents put needles in my body. They threatened to tie me to a bed in order to do that, but because of that, they couldn't put me in general population, which I was happy for because I was concerned for my safety. I was actually threatened by one of the marshals while I was in prison, and I said, I'm not going to accept bail under these conditions. And then just Friday, after being in detention for 6 days, I was unceremoniously dumped in the rain in Philly in prison shoes, and it was an interesting experience because they took me through the process of getting out discharged from the federal detention center, but they had this idea that they were going to issue me citations, that they were going to bust the charges down or reduce them, and I have these citations right here, one for disorderly conduct and one for interfering with an officer, which you can see from photos posted online. I did not sign, refused to. They said, here you go, you're going to sign for your personal effects, you're going to sign these citations, and I just laughed at them and said, what are you going to do, put me back in there? I don't think so. And they carry, $275 each, but they're not legally binding at this point, and I think it just goes to show that when you stand up and assert your right to confront your accuser, as we did in the probable cause part of the hearing on Thursday, you can get them to back down, and there are going to be a lot less careless accusations the more people stand up in situations like this. Yeah, I've had people on the street in Austin and waiters and people come up to me when you were still in jail saying, what are we going to do about Adam Kokesh? And again, I'll be honest with you about this. I've been honest on air. I think you're a good guy. You've been backhandedly critical of me over the years in the past, and I think that's entertaining. I don't mind being criticized. I'm one of my own biggest critics. But well, hold on. If you're going to mention that, allow me to say I have on the air, I have the utmost respect for what you do and what you have accomplished, and I believe I have some philosophical differences that I'm very passionate about. But all of my criticism of you is based on that alone, and I really consider you a brother in this fight, and have the greatest respect and admiration for everything.
Well, I have respect for you as well, but I just want to be clear. No, I'm just saying we all have differences of opinion on things. And they say to make a good radio host, and I didn't know this when I first got into radio. Later I learned it was be authoritative, never apologize, say you know what you're talking about. Well, I generally know what I'm talking about. That's why I come off authoritative, because I am. When I make a mistake, I'll say it. I have never been so conflicted as I am about what you're doing, obviously, because I have trouble gauging what's going to happen. I also know it's historically important. I know fortune favors the bold. I know all of that. And so I'll be positive. I'll also be critical, because I'm simply in my own mind trying to war game out different things. And I understand justice be done though the heavens fall. You have a right to carry guns loaded on your back into D.C. The Supreme Court ruled it 5 years ago. Even if they hadn't, common law, common sense says not only people in uniforms can have them. Why can't you be trusted when you're not a felon or a criminal? The state's announcing you're a criminal. My issue is that the crowdsourcing knowledge, let me just finish this quick point, of my audience, I'd say about 70% of my audience says, look, we get what he's doing, but we feel like it's going to be a bad strategy. They'll set him up. I said they'll set you up. I don't think they're done trying to set you up.
Exactly.
And then now you're going to have 50 of these. Do you plan for those to be armed as well? Now it's impossible to have cameras everywhere, so the other people they set up, they'll go ahead and put them in jail for assaulting police because we won't have 7 cameras on it. Do you see my point? Is that we're winning the info war right now. That's why a lot of people think the strategy's a bad one. Go ahead.
Well, Alex, the strategy has changed, and this is the opportunity presented by the circumstance that government has created by escalating their tactics and imprisoning me and framing me for assault.
Trying to frame you.
Simply being a political activist. Now, if we have time, I'd like to read the statement that I wrote when I was in prison. It's just about 3 minutes.
Sure.
But this is the new strategy for Independence Day. We're not going to be marching on the Capitol. It's going to be simply marching on 50 states. And as people want on their own to engage in civil disobedience, be it in armed resistance or simply showing up however they want, that's all on them. It's a decentralized open source thing. And this is what's so important, Alex. I believe we can have cameras at all of these events. I believe that this is what we have now at all of these events, because political activists, thanks to your work and the work of so many others talking about photography not being a crime, at every one of these events, there will be accountability, and there will be people calling for the orderly dissolution of the federal government. And this is what I realized when I was in prison, was that I couldn't let this depend so much on myself.
That's right.
And I'm not afraid, as you are, of standing up firm and saying, I know what I'm talking about. I'm standing on principle. But when it comes to ensuring this event being executed properly, when the government has already escalated the violent tactics against me personally as an organizer, I can't in good conscience go forward with a plan that is so centrally dependent and not open source. So this was the statement. When a government has repeatedly and deliberately failed to follow its own laws, violated the fundamental human rights of its citizens, threatened the sanctity of a free press, created institutions intended to eliminate privacy of communication, waged war at the behest of special interests that threatens the public safety, killed hundreds of children with drone strikes, imprisoned and destroyed the lives of countless individuals for victimless crimes, stifled economic opportunity to maintain the dominance of the financial elite, stolen from the people through an absurd system of taxation and inflation, sold future generations into debt slavery, and abused its power to suppress political opposition, it is unfit to exist, and it becomes the duty of the people to alter or abolish that government by whatever means necessary to secure liberty and ensure peace. A new American revolution is long overdue. This revolution has been brewing in the hearts and minds of the people for many years, but this Independence Day, it shall take a new form as the American Revolutionary Army will march on each state capital to demand that the governors of these 50 states immediately initiate the process of an orderly dissolution dismantlement of the federal government through secession and reclamation of federally held property. Should one whole year pass from this July 4th while the crimes of this government are allowed to continue, we may have passed the point at which nonviolent revolution becomes impossible. The time to sit idly by has passed. To remain neutral is to be complicit. Just doing your job is not an excuse, and the line in the sand has been drawn between we, the people, and the criminals in Washington, D.C. While some timid souls will say that it is too early, that we can solve this problem through the democratic means provided by government, that current levels of taxation are reasonable for the services provided, and that the crimes of this government are merely a tolerable nuisance, it may already be too late. While there is risk in drastic action, the greater danger lies in allowing this government to continue unchallenged. So if you are content with the status quo, stay home, get fat, watch the fireworks from a safe distance, and allow this Independence Day to pass like any other. But if you see as we see and feel as we feel, we will see you on the front lines of freedom on July 4th, 2013 for this, the final American Revolution. Alex, you said that 1776 would commence again. Well, it's not going to be the same. It's not going to be to restore the Republic. It's not to think that we have more wisdom than the founders who moved the ball this far forward. We have to take it the next bold step, and that is to recognize that this is an empire in decline, and we can do this the easy way or the hard way. And what we are suggesting is the easy way, the peaceful way, the orderly process of a dissolution of this criminal government that has come to symbolize America to the world. We have to take it down. We have to overthrow this government, and this is how we do it. Because if we do not have an orderly, peaceful dissolution of the federal government, it is going to be that much worse as we see a collapse of the currency, as we see martial law, as we see a government in its death throes continue to make more victims of otherwise law-abiding citizens.
Sure, Adam, but, last year I put out the call for the Second American Revolution. Drudge linked to it, a bunch of other news picked it up. And I was talking about the states organizing with good members of Congress to declare the federal government is run by foreign banks, is illegitimate, but to reboot the republic via the states. And I had constitutional lawyers on, like Edwin Vieira and countless others, advisors to Congress, and they concurred that was the constitutional remedy. But I mean, just saying the states will grab federal property and will overthrow the government. My angle is the federal government's already been overthrown by foreign banks. It's been occupied. Then there's no debate and no civil war by leapfrogging that. I wouldn't use the term overthrow the government. Let's discuss that straight ahead.
Hi, my name is Stephen Hewer. As a degreed nutritionist, my first priority is for you to get healthy. That won't happen if I make wrong recommendations or cause you to spend money on supplements you don't need. After 20 years working with thousands of products and thousands of people, I know, for the most part, what does and does not work. One World Whey is the first and only unheated whey protein powder from grass-fed cows on the market. It retains substances that no other whey protein powder has. These nutritive compounds supply life-giving nutrition. Your body merely needs the right conditions to make great health happen. Due to low-quality foods, toxicity, and aging, having great health is more of an effort than ever. One World Whey is the superfood of the century, and when added to your diet, it promotes energy, detoxification, muscle gains, fat loss, and overall radiant health. Call 888-988-3325. That's 888-988-3325. Or visit oneworldwhey.com. That's oneworld.com.
There's been a disaster, and most of you don't even realize the serious concern for all of us. Alex Jones has warned you for years to get the most important supply you can for your liberty, freedom, and security, and that's food. We thought the danger was drought, or food diverted to our gas tanks, or food so expensive that we'd all need financial assistance to afford it, or our food being sold to other countries. But here's the most effective way you'll lose your liberty and security without a fight: government regulation. The do-it-yourself public services of many LDS Mormon food storage canneries can no longer be provided. This, along with the recent private gardening and farming regulations and additional government control of food supplies and resources, says food is the ultimate priority. eFoods Direct will provide free shipping on all food orders until further notice. Call 800-409-5633 or on the web efoodsdirect.com/Alex.
Hello, this is Ty Bollinger, author of the best-selling book, Cancer, Step Outside the Box. I want you to know some very important information. In 1985, President Ronald Reagan requested that carnivora be sent directly to the White House at a time when only the president could obtain this world-class healer. Now, 27 years later, carnivore capsules are used around the world to keep people healthy. Now you can protect yourself and your loved ones in this age of superbugs with 17 naturally occurring compounds that instinctively respond to abnormal cells only without harming a single normal cell. If you want to stay healthy, now's your chance to literally wake up your critical immune cells to attack harmful invaders that don't belong in your body. Call 1-866-VENUS-FLY or order from carnivora.com. That's carnivora.com. That's 1-866-836-8735, 1-866-VENUS-FLY, or visit carnivora.com. Protect your immune system. It's the only one you've got.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to cover every angle of the Bilderberg meeting this year with cameras. They have fought for decades to have their whore globalist media deny to the public that mega rich bankers that got their money out of government contracts and fractional reserve banking fraud, these are the enemies. These are the people that are setting up this fraudulent globalist control freak kleptocracy that makes 1984 look like an escape route. These are the people, and I'm getting on an airplane. I'm going over there to cover it. Some of my crew's going to be there as well. Luke Rudkowski's going to be there. We're going to have live video feeds, audio feeds, podcast, all of it at Infowars.com/Bilderberg or Infowars.com/B, just the letter B. And it is an amazing new page that is going to have live chat on it, the latest feeds, photos. It's not done yet. It'll be done by tomorrow. But you can get a first look at it. We're going to send it out to everybody as well as a link who signed up at Infowars.com/newsletter. Be sure and follow us at Real Alex Jones on Twitter. And most importantly, continue to spread the word, because it just hit me during the break that I've been meaning to make this point. We're going to go into overdrive if Adam Kokesh will stay with us and take your phone calls for everybody that are holding. If he's got to go, that's fine. But I want to do 20, 30 minutes of overdrive. Some stations carry it into the next hour. If you don't, you can go to Infowars.com/show, and it'll give you the live video and audio feeds right there into overdrive and then nightly news tonight. But, Adam, it hit me last weekend and a month ago, but it's never when I'm on air. I always, am more cogent when I'm not on air, because you get on air and stuff's going on. You kind of lose the heights of your IQ. And my heights aren't that high, but you know what I mean. And it hit me like a ton of bricks. This is what I want to ask you right now. That if a revolution was happening and nobody announced it, would it happen? And what I'm getting at is the public is awake, people that aren't zombies. They know we're being screwed. They know we're being persecuted. We know the federal government's been taken over by the globalists. We know the New World Order is real. Those of us that expose it have been proven right in spades, in triplicate. And all we've got to do now is stand up, speak out, it'll fall. So again, I admire what you're doing. I know cowards attack you out of hand because what you're doing scares them. But then other people are mistrustful because there's so much betrayal out there. And then other people start thinking they're just going to set him up. This is going to go bad in their gut. And then I saw your report and thought, what, 50 armed marches? Now you're saying, no, it's to whatever the local group does. That makes more sense. But do you get the sense at an intellectual level? For me, it's a spiritual level, but I can also manifestly see it in the third, in this dimension, that the awakening is now. History is happening now. Our destiny is being decided now. Quick answer on that, Adam Kokesh.
Yes, absolutely, Alex. And I believe especially the role of technology is incredibly important as empowering people to render government obsolete. I believe that the evolution towards a voluntary society is inevitable, which is why I would ask, if you had the ability to end the federal government, why would you want to reboot it? Why would you want to start again with this failed experiment when the American people are realizing that they're capable of ruling themselves? Human beings, through the empowerment of the internet, are having greater access to information that is so fundamentally empowering.
No. We can have this debate in the next hour if you can hold. Can you hold over?
Sure, but absolutely.
We can have this debate after we get more into the march and take these calls, because I got to go to them.
Let's do it.
But the issue here is that we don't have a federal government. It was hijacked, and I will be glad to get rid of government entirely once we've had a free system in a microcosm to bring down the communist Chinese, to bring down Apple with its Foxconn slave factories. My point is, I see the globalists trying to co-opt libertarianism to create a fake clone of it. So if you want to have a real debate, we'll have it. It's coming up. Infowars.com/show.
Thank you for listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
Introducing Pro One. All of your filtration in one system, portable, on the go. No more do you have 2 or 3 filters to just reduce sodium fluoride. You have a system that cuts out the sodium fluoride and up to 95% of hydrofluorosilicic acid. Advanced manufacturing technology combines silver-impregnated white ceramic with new Aquamedics advanced media for removal of fluoride and other heavy metals, all in one filter element. It is the only one that does it, and out of the gate, we have it discounted at 10% off with promo code WATER. This is the only system that in one unit helps reduce or remove pesticides, herbicides, chloramines, ammonia, and chlorine, hydrofluorosilicic acid, the most common form of fluoride not covered by other fluoride filter brands, and sodium hexafluorosilicate. Get your Pro Pure with the new Pro One filter today at InfoWarsStore.com or by calling 888-253-3139.
Coast to coast, direct from Austin. You're listening to the Alex Jones Broadcasting Network.
Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
All right, Adam Kokesh is our guest, and we're going to take your phone calls, actually just right now, and then the next segment, Adam and I, after we take these calls that have been holding, we can get into a discussion about the society he'd like to see versus what I'm talking about versus what, you're calling for out there. I just think government has dumbed people down so much that we're in a lot of trouble. And I'm just trying to stop the New World Order that's coming down on us like a ton of bricks. But I understand sometimes the big, bold idea can be so large it overshadows. Like their idea of tyranny is so big that it tends to overshadow things because they reach so far. Maybe we do need to reach even further, and that it's the bold stroke oft do, miss, but often does hit to butcher some Shakespeare. Let's talk to Montine in Georgia. You're on the air, Montine.
Hey, Alex. I was one of the people. Hey, do you remember having Steve Quayle on 3 years ago, and he was telling people carry concealed weapons holders were going to be GPS'd? Remember that?
Yes.
Well, I wasn't a member then, but I would listen to it streaming overnight because I listen to you while I sleep. That's how I learn so much. But that very day, I'm getting ready, running around, getting my hawks and owls stuffed into the car to go do a program, and knock, knock, knock on the door, and there's this older guy with a lanyard around his neck from the Census Bureau, and he had a box in his hand, and he said, would you mind, I'm doing some preliminary census stuff, would you mind speaking your physical address into this box? And I didn't think anything about it. Well, that night, overnight, I'm hearing that day's broadcast, and I'm going, holy God, I can't believe that happened to me. So I went around to all my neighbors. Nobody else got GPS'd. And nobody else but me had a carry concealed weapons permit.
No. Steve Quayle said on this show 3 years ago they were going to have domestic drones over us using GPS to mark our houses. Now that's admitted. See, it sounded crazy to say the NSA spying on us without warrants, and now it's just like, oh, of course they do. It's just amazing. Any comments on what she's bringing up? Adam Kokesh.
Well, I think it's just part of the government in its death throes. You know, what you're talking about in terms of the implications for the New World Order, most of these efforts are futile. And it's really a matter of how do we ease ourselves out of this in a way that doesn't hurt as many people as possible. So I think that by taking away the tools, you know, by abolishing the particular layer of government that we're experiencing the most tyranny at right now, we can address a lot of these problems.
There's no doubt if we got rid of the federal government, there'd be a boom, the likes of which this country has never seen. Exactly. $85 billion a month is siphoned out of this country and given to private individuals, and Congress can't even be told who the specific people are. I don't want to play whack-a-mole. I don't want to play whack-a-mole with all these issues and say, like, all right, we're going to fight GPS, and we're going to fight for gun rights, and we're going to fight for concealed carry, and then we're going to fight the NDAA. Because if you do that and you say, well, I'm going to use the democratic process, and we're going to lobby our representatives, and we're going to do it that way, and the government says, oh, good job, they'll pat you on the head and praise you and say, yeah, you defeated a bill. You see, the system works. Behind your back, they take a mile and laugh at you. Except now they see the crime is cutting into profits and destroying society. I mean, this tyranny they're setting up is not good for really anybody.
I'll make one quick comment about something I saw on C-SPAN yesterday. I was stuck inside doing housework, so I put C-SPAN on. And normally it's stuff in Washington, like at the Capitol and stuff, but yesterday it was in San Francisco. And there was a panel of people, 2 CEOs from car share and ride share, and then a couple of like statisticians and stuff like that. The audience was full of 20-something, probably into their 30s, and nobody wants to own a car. They want to all share one. They want to stack and pack. And I'm thinking, I'm starting to smell Agenda 21. And people got up at the end and asked questions. Nobody mentioned anything about smart growth. Everybody thought sharing a car is a great idea.
No, this is the plan. And that way more of your energy, your taxes, can go to the bureaucrats to have private jets. Absolutely. Introducing Pro One. All of your filtration in one system, portable, on the go. No more do you have 2 or 3 filters to just reduce sodium fluoride. You have a system that cuts out the sodium fluoride and up to 95% of hydrofluorosilicic acid. Advanced manufacturing technology combines silver-impregnated white ceramic with new Aquamedics advanced media for removal of fluoride and other heavy metals, all in one filter element. It is the only one that does it, and out of the gate, we have it discounted at 10% off with promo code WATER. This is the only system that in one unit helps reduce or remove pesticides, herbicides, chloramines, ammonia, and chlorine, hydrofluorosilicic acid, the most common form of fluoride not covered by other fluoride filter brands, and sodium hexafluorosilicate. Get your Pro Pure with the new Pro One filter today at InfoWarsStore.com or by calling 888-253-3139.
Are you still a traditional smoker? Now experience a new lifestyle and try vaping with e-cigarettes by LeSig. Imagine no ashes, stains, nasty smell, or coughing and hacking. With LeSig e-cigarettes' revolutionary microelectronic technology, rechargeable battery, and unique replaceable cartridge, you'll get all the benefits and satisfaction of smoking without the hazards. Choose your taste from a wide variety of our new American-made vape-free e-liquids at LeSig.com. And LeSig smokes the competition by serving thousands of worldwide customers with real people customer service, fast, free, same-day shipping, and a 30-day warranty and satisfaction guarantee. So are you ready for a new vaping lifestyle? Then call 870-518-4307. That's 870-518-4307. Or visit LeSig.com, spelled LECIG.com. LeSig e-cigarettes for today's modern smoker.
Your home alarm works after an intruder is inside your home, but real home security begins before intruders enter. Burglaries and home invasions are at an all-time high, and crime is skyrocketing in rural and suburban areas. 85% of break-ins are through a door, and police response is often greater than 20 minutes. You can't afford to wait that long. Stop burglars with police-tested and recommended Easy Armor from Armor Concepts. Easy Armor keeps intruders out, it's barely visible, and installs easily. Easy Armor reinforces a door's ignores weak points, comes in 3 colors, and is guaranteed to stop kick-ins. Get Easy Armor now and get peace of mind. Order by calling 888-58-ARMOR. That's 888-582-7667. Or go to easyarmor.net, spelled EZARMOR.net. Special offer only available to GCN listeners. Ask about it when you call for your Easy Armor today from Armor Concepts. Ultimate door security made easy.
From his Central Texas Command Center, deep behind enemy lines, the information war continues. It's Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
The decision was publicly announced more than a decade ago by MIT and other major technology development centers, where they take our tax money and then go out and hire the best and brightest engineers and scientists. The decision was made to wire all of society to surveil and dominate and cheat the public. The stock market's rigged, the interest rates are rigged, everything's rigged. It's this kleptocratic group who've stolen the world. Now that they've done that, they're saying, oh, we're libertarian, we keep our trillions we've stolen offshore, and we're exempt from taxation, while they also lobby the socialist and communists to raise taxes on the general public, poor people, you name it. Obama raised taxes on poor people to then transfer that money offshore to them. And I'm talking about people like Peter Thiel, who's running around trying to take over the libertarians and is a member of Bilderberg. And I'm not saying we can't have converts within the establishment, but these are not converts. This is cynical. So, Adam, explain to me. All I'm saying is, a lot of times you have a, quote, revolution, the vacuum gets filled with an even more corrupt system. I think we should have a very small federal government. Down the road, if we were able to get rid of it, that'd be great. But right now, I'm trying to expose Connect boxes hooked into the NSA, watching and listening to everything you do, not to stop you from doing crime, but to dominate you and run your life and know what you're thinking before you're even thinking it. I'm busy trying to get GMO out of places and exposing it. I'm busy trying. You say, well, there's whack-a-mole, all these battles. That's where I've seen us have success. How would this model look of dissolving the federal government? How would this model look? And then I guess you think that the bankers wouldn't go fund the Chinese to then invade us and attack us? Because that's the first thing they do. Or do you think our example of liberty would then be adopted by the Chinese and then they'd bring down their government?
I think that's much more likely, and I think the historical trend would be towards that. And this power vacuum argument is not without historical precedence and has some credibility, but that's what makes this revolution that we're experiencing right now unique, this particular philosophically based revolution that includes a change in the paradigm. So what is that power vacuum filled with? It's filled with self-rule. It's filled with people asserting their rights. That's what prevents another power that would be as destructive from coming in. But you talk about the victories that we've had and that are absolutely legitimate victories in putting checks on government power, but none of them have done anything to stop the general trend of government continuing to grow exponentially for the amount of exploitation. As you know, numerically, when you talk about the banksters, it's continuing to grow. None of that has stopped the bigger trend. So you point out that we have a sort of fake liberty happening within the establishment. I still think that's an improvement over obvious direct tyranny, where they're saying, no, you need a ruler. We're going to be in charge of you. We're going to take your rights and we're going to tell you how to live. We're going to pretend like we're letting you live your own life. And like in that sense, I think Rand Paul would be a huge improvement over Barack Obama. But I don't think that's the be all end all solution. And having some fake liberty where you say we still need a government, you still need some central authority, is exactly what stops the process of the most important part of the paradigm shift, which is people internalizing the idea that they are free, beautiful, independent human beings who are capable of ruling themselves.
So to be specific, we're going to take some phone calls. Adam Kokesh is our guest, AdamVersusTheMan.com. I'm Alex Jones with Infowars.com. Because I misinterpreted last week when I saw that letter you put out Friday about, the final revolution is announced, march on all 50 capitals, peaceful may not be possible in a year if we don't do this. I was interpreting it as, because it was kind of left nebulous, and you used rhetoric before like this is an overthrow, this is a revolt. I just wouldn't use that nomenclature. It's kind of like the groups planning a official protest, a Bilderberg, are calling it fringe. Well, we're not the fringe. The Bilderberg group is the authoritarian, parasitic fringe.
Well, Alex, what are you afraid of? That they're going to call us terrorists? I think it's time to actually use precise, direct language in what we're talking about, and not be afraid about how it's going to be spun by the loyalists. We are armed. We are revolting. We are calling for an end to the United States federal government as we know it. Both of us are. You want to reboot it? I say we can end it and simply fill that power vacuum with individuals asserting their rights, or even states asserting their sovereignty.
But what I'm saying is it ends the argument when you prove it's run by foreign banks illegally that are sucking $85 billion a month out. That's not even the federal government. I mean, we can debate whether to get rid of the... Okay, let's kick the globalist out, and then we can decide whether we're going to abolish it or not.
Sure, and Alex, if what happened as a result of what I'm calling for is that we are successful and there is a dissolution of the government, and at that point the governors get together and say, well, we kind of want a defense collective, I'd be against it. I think it's going in the wrong direction, but I'd still be very happy with that as an outcome compared to continuing along the path of inevitable decline and a violent collapse of a government in its death throes as we're facing today on our current course.
Sure, but I mean, I would like to just arrest the leader of the Federal Reserve, arrest Jamie Dimon, arrest the heads of the big banks that are running the policy of treason, but it's not even treason because they're globalist. And so my point is, you want to reverse the implosion by design of society, we've got to first kick the globalist out, because I think if you got rid of the federal government entirely, or the shell of it, then the robber barons would attack the states one at a time. I mean, that's what America was the states in a mutual defense pact, and now it's just become a federal government, which then got taken over itself.
Well, sure, Alex. I believe that it's only one step in the right direction. The eventual course of human history is to achieve a truly free, voluntary, stateless society. So anything that moves us in that direction is a positive. And you're absolutely correct to point out that if we have this orderly dissolution of the American government, you will still have very dangerous state governments. But at least then the damage will be compartmentalized, and people will be able to recognize if the banksters are going after one particular unit or another. But you also have to acknowledge that the Federal Reserve System, the U.S. dollar as the world reserve currency, is the underpinning of so much of their power on a global level. And if you take that away, you get rid of this foundation of so much of that power. And part of this revolution has to include people at least asserting that they should have local currencies, or currencies that are commodity-backed, at least non-coercive currencies. And you know as well as I that that's what was really at the underpinning of the Federal Reserve System, that it was forced on the American people and coupled with gold confiscation.
Well, I know this. America has been hijacked, and that's not just rhetoric. I mean, if we could ever have a real discussion about how we're a conquered country, they're trying to mop up the media, mop up the states. That's causing pushback because it's gotten so naked. And I'm just saying, these globalists, I mean, Adam, they will nuke a city. I mean, you've shied away from 9/11, could be staged. And I mean, now our government runs Al-Qaeda openly in Libya and Syria. What are you going to do when they blow up a major city and then say that the Patriots did it? Patriots stole a nuke off an airbase and detonated it, and they're coming to kill us. Because, I mean, that's what I'm telling you. We keep fighting them in the info war. We are bringing them down right now. We're winning on this front. They want a confrontation. I don't want to give them an excuse, because if I was them, I'd shut off a nuke and blame it on us.
Well, they're making excuses left and right anyways, and you could what if this to death, Alex, but the greatest thing we can do to mitigate the possibilities of violence is take away the tools of violence, take away the nuclear weapons, take away the standing army of the federal government, take away the IRS, take away all the federalized police forces, and minimize what power it is that they actually wield.
But there's other big criminal government gangs out there, and that's where the necessary evil argument of government comes in. What do you do about the Chi-Coms and the Russians and everybody else the globalists armed and put in power? These bankers are still going to be running the rest of the world.
Well, if some defense collective is necessary based on the threats when we get to this point, I would hope that it could be achieved through voluntary means. But I can certainly acknowledge that possibility, and my plan does not preclude that. But the best thing that we can do to prevent that inevitability, or that possibility, rather, of foreign military attacks on the United States is to inspire revolution in other countries and spread the message. And really, as you know, Alex, the paradigm shift that's happening today is global. I'm sure you, as well as I do, have fans from all over the world who are appreciative of this message, who don't have a particular stake in what it means to be an American, but they understand what it means to have the American government as a threat to the world.
Sure, well, let me ask you this question. What do you do about the 50% of the population on average that literally can't tie their shoelaces and has no idea what planet they're even on and walk around drooling with make-work jobs or welfare checks, who don't even, know their name? I mean, what do you do about those people?
We have to reach them with the message. We have to elevate them. We have to inspire them. And we have to show them that when you take away government intervention in the economy, more economic opportunities come about. But if you understand the mode of government, it's we're going to break your leg and then give you a crutch and say, if it wasn't for government, you wouldn't be able to walk. And when you have someone in that crippled situation, because you're absolutely right to point out that a large chunk of the population is psychologically crippled as a result of government propaganda, what do you have to do? Sometimes there is a healing process. There's going to be a stumble. There's going to be an adjustment. But if you allow that leg to heal and you stop breaking that leg in the first place, you'll be able to walk in no time and eventually start running. And I think when people are able to see that as clearly as they are now, thanks to your work in large part and everything else that's available on the internet, they're going to be demanding that the crutches be taken away.
Well, the whole system's coming to an end. That's why the oligarchs are digging in, thinking a police state's going to allow them to stay in power. Everybody I talk to, even knows the rich guys don't pay taxes on average. They know the globalists are exempt from all these rules. I don't see how they're going to get away with it. And so I just hope the establishment decides to go quietly into the night, because it's going to be easier for them to give up their power than set the whole world on fire. But they got in power, Adam, because they're willing to take the risk to do it. I don't think this is going to go very easily. This is going to be a big deal.
Well, so am I, and that's why it's so important to not say that we're a completely nonviolent or passive resistance movement. We assert nonviolent means when possible, as it is certainly preferable, but we are not afraid to use violence if necessary, and we are capable of and asserting our right to defend ourselves. And I think
that's not even violence. That's not even violence if it's defensive.
Exactly. Well, it's violent in the sense that it is a violent act that we are reacting to when when it's necessary to defend ourselves.
Yeah, but defense is always, watching Al-Qaeda be used against Syria for 2+ years and bombing them and all this, and then the media saying, how dare Syria defend themselves? It's just, things are so screwed up.
And that's why it's time for drastic action. I don't think these these efforts to fight back an inch at a time are going to be effective when it comes to the actual point of collapse of modern governments.
How far out do you think collapse is? Because they've got MSNBC articles about, or CNBC articles about the dollar dying and stuff. It's just amazing.
I don't know, and I don't want to make predictions in terms of years, but I'm thinking somewhere on the timeline of 5 to 20 years. I know that's pretty vague, but I do know that there is going to be a collapse of some kind, and the federal government, as we know it, is unsustainable. So it's kind of a matter of the longer we let it go, the worse it's going to be. If this revolution starting this July 4th is successful, and enough people come out and decide that we are going to fundamentally change the conversation, we are going to get the American people to wake up and realize that we're better.
What do you mean by revolution? You say march and demand the governors do this and then take the federal property. Are you implying people should do a forced offensive situation?
No, I think that the governors can reclaim property within their states. As you have said, the federal government is illegitimate and has no legitimate authority over that property when a state would by comparison, although I would still say that it's fundamentally illegitimate as it's all part of the same system.
Well, I'll say this. The Fed's internal manuals that have been made public and all their training from my sources is to send in federal troops into any state that does that. They're really worried about that scenario. But if enough states did it, and that's why they always try to play off North against South, black against white, all this garbage. Yep. But I think if a state like Texas did it and said you're an illegitimate government, foreign banks run you, we're done with you, I think we would be joined by other states immediately. I mean, it's like the TSA, the state unanimously voted in the House to say you can't violate state and federal law and grab people's genitals. We're going to start arresting you. And the Fed said, we'll have an armed blockade with F-16s. Why didn't we call the bluff and say, okay, bring in your force? They would have lost the moral debate instantly when an F-16 ordered a passenger jet to land. I mean, is there nothing we won't put up with? The military isn't going to have That's why they want to go to drones, Adam, because in the future, if an F-16 or F-18 or a pilot says, I'm not going to shoot down an American Airlines flight flying into Texas, they'll just send a drone to do it.
I believe you have a saying in Texas that would appropriately apply to your governor, all hat, no cattle.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, boy. But I mean, my point is, the feds really think Obama is Abe Lincoln, and they fantasize about how they're going to invade the states and put us in work brigades. I mean, these hippies really think they're like Mao Zedong or something. And I got news for them. Folks, we got 300 million guns plus. And I mean, it's like I told the Redcoat, I'm not looking for a fight, but listen, it will trigger 1776. And I mean, all these people that work for the government, just because they're wearing commando outfits, I don't think they have any idea what's going to happen if they actually start this fight.
I think you're right, and that's one of the things that really is on our side. That the groundwork has been laid in the raising of awareness of the people, and we've seen this in every resistance movement of this type. When the government cracks down, it backfires. I mean, look at the Arab Spring. Look at and I'm not saying that those were pure, true revolutions without foreign influence by any stretch, but there are a lot of lessons to be learned from the mechanisms of how those various events played out. And when the government cracks down, I mean, look at like in Egypt. When the government shuts down the internet, it's time to shut down the government. And I think people will respond to that. And it's those kinds of things that will wake people up. So again, this idea of an orderly dissolution through the states seceding and reclaiming federal property is doing things the safe, peaceful, easy way rather than being delusional and waiting to do it the hard way.
Well, I mean, the feds have more than half the property in the West, some states like 90%. Imagine if they took all the stuff that's just rotting and wildfires because they won't cut the trees. Imagine if they actually sold that stuff off for, 10 cents on the dollar, the amount of money it would raise, the wealth, the new boom.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, no, it's criminal how much this government is held us back economically. And that's what I think the people will only come to realize when it's shown in stark contrast. You can have the federal government or you cannot have the federal government. Look at the savings. Look at what the states can do. Look at what you can do as an individual with your community. Look at all the mutual aid organizations that are popping up. Look at all the ways that technology is empowering us to render government obsolete and to assert our self-ownership.
Yeah, well, why does FEMA come in and say no one else can help in a flood or disaster and then put up signs saying closed for bad weather?
Right, because they want you to be dependent. And that's kind of the struggle right now is the American people are caught between those of us who have woken up and the government. And there is a real, just a very deep conflict, a certain cognitive dissonance. And we have the truth on our side. We have to simply inspire them to do the right thing and to avoid that cognitive dissonance and show them that living in the truth is not only easier, but it's better. You're happier and healthier with an actual grounded relationship with reality rather than just believing the government's propaganda.
Well, you're right. Let's jam in a phone call. David in California, you want to bring up, I guess, the article I mentioned earlier where they're going to teach 5-year-old boys how to dress like girls. Go ahead.
Hi, Alex. It wasn't actually an article about that. It was there's actually a school in Wisconsin where for Spirit Day, it's an elementary school, and the teachers want the boys to come in dressed like girls and the girls to dress like guys, like boys. And,
well, that's because they're attacking fundamental human institutions. People want to live some way. That's their issue. Yeah, they're obsessed with it. I'm not. But the trying to sexualize young children has a name. It's called pedophilia.
Well, it's not only that. I mean, I've noticed there's kind of this push and this agenda to kind of feminize men. It's cool now as a guy to be wearing, nail polish, and women like the feminine guys and guys who wear makeup. And, there's like a push to make.
Yeah, see how many women you really get doing that. I mean, that's just the messages they give men are the complete opposite of, maybe a trend he's looking for it at first, but that ain't what she's going to stay into. Adam Kokesh, your comments on the agenda of this decadent government.
Yeah, well, there's another story that I covered today from Intelabub.com. Department of Homeland Security teaching kids to go to FEMA camps in time of crisis. And in a sense, the propagandization is getting deeper and earlier. But we're going to see a split as well in the children that are raised by parents that have this awareness. Not all of them are capable of getting their children out and homeschooling or unschooling them. But when you see kids in these situations, and one of the things that I'm so encouraged by, and I know you get emails like this too, Alex, from people in my audience that are in middle school that are going, holy crap, I'm the only one here who gets it, but they're listening to Adam versus the Man. And I'm so encouraged because the people that grow up with the internet, this is the thing, that for all the government's efforts to propagandize the youth, they are so much smarter than us. They're so much more tuned in. And I'm 31. I barely count myself among the millennial generation, but those of us who grew up with the internet have a whole other awareness, and you can lie to us, but you can't get away with it for very long.
Well, exactly. What's going on here is so many times their propaganda works for a while, but then boomerangs or backlashes.
Right, and with this younger generation that's coming up, the kids that went to high school with smartphones, when their teacher lies to them and they can just look it up and be like, I don't think so. Or like we saw, kids were actually recording their teachers and then calling them out on it or doing the research afterwards and finding out the truth. It's incredible. You can't control the next generation. If anything, we have an obligation to get government out of their way.
All right, listen, appreciate your call, David, and I'm sorry to other callers. If you call back tomorrow, we'll put you to the head of the line, Joe, Brian, First Sergeant in Florida, Nicholas. I want 30 minutes in overdrive. Okay, Adam, so the March on D.C. is off July 4th.
We are marching on all 50 state capitals, and for anybody who wants to get involved, our national coordinator is Jeffrey Phillips. We've got most states covered, but we still need people to step up. We're going to have a list soon of those where we need people to take point. But Jeffrey, Jeffrey, at AdamVersusTheMan.com.
All right, great. Thank you so much, folks. The new Bilderberg, you bet, the special Bilderberg coverage area, Infowars.com/Bilderberg.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Introducing Pro One. All of your filtration in one system, portable, on the go. No more do you have 2 or 3 filters to just reduce sodium fluoride. You have a system that cuts out the sodium fluoride and up to 95% of hydro. Of Beyond Tangy Tangerine Complete Multivitamin Mineral Complex Dietary Supplement. That's InfoWarsTeam.com. Introducing Pro